Good morning and welcome to today's live show. If you're not tuning into this live right now, if you're not live right now, make sure to tune in to the last 15 minutes of this video so you can get a little breakdown of every stock that we cover somewhere during the day here. We're going to break down a few things going forward this morning. Seeing a little bit of bounce this morning. We got to check on some data and things like that. Remember, it's a good time to join the Patreon as the price fluctuates more and more. It's very good to have that implied volatility, have those weekly ranges for every stock we cover. So think about going down to the Patreon, and if you want to learn about this stuff, we do have that course down below as well. You can learn it over the weekend and come fresh next week with a new output here. Let's see, we got some non-farm payroll numbers, 303K, coming in way hotter than expected, even above the previous. Like, these get adjusted down a lot of the time, we'll see. But unemployment rate, 3.8, so I can see how there's some kind of positivity this morning. What we want to do is see, well, we have Fed speakers, 8:15 and 11:15. Do they come out and try to be a little bit more dovish, or do they keep that tone that we were seeing from yesterday, where it was really, hey, we're it was really like, hey, we can't cut these rates. It's pretty much what's happening. That mixed with some conflict in the Middle East, we get a big red bar. Good morning, everyone, though. Knowledge on the go. Matthew, Philip, Rose, I like anime. Willow says, Luke, what up? Good morning. Matthew, and DB Trades, Rose, do you guys like compete to see who can get in here first now? You're like right at 8:30, refresh, look for notifications. Shorts up, yeah, but we do have some bouncing going on. So we want to see, pretty much we want to pay attention to 30 minutes. If they can roll up, go positive. I would say that would be an option for today. Really see if this wants to go pop. But like I said, we can see a reaction. We can get a full bounce even all the way up to here and still make some kind of lower high. We can bounce all the way to this. Just remember that today, the SPY, you see those daily ranges. They're very wide here. Just remember, we have a 68% chance to land right here. Right here. So we could, see the SPY back up to this area. We want to see if there's any kind of flagging or anything like that. Second to hit the like button. See, hitting the like button, that's the real competition. Scott, Dave, and Dabusta, what up? Shorts up. Yeah, I mean, shorts printed yesterday. That's for sure. They printed a lot of the time when you see a big sell-off like that. You want to see if that can continue. You see, like, the Qs, they're going to, like we said in the video last night, they're going to have an easier time staying in this range. They could do something like this all day and then just do, like, a little turn by the end of the day, kind of flag out. So we'll be looking for flags, anything like that. We might even bring up 5-minute charts for today. Once we get some more price action, we can bring up a 5-minute chart. But you see, anytime we roll over, maybe we want to do 15-minute for today, right? We're paying attention to what's happening today. Maybe this just kind of consolidates sideways for a couple hours here. Maybe we get some kind of reaction up, some kind of retracement, and then that's held as resistance, and then we start to break this level. So we'll have to pay attention to what's going on here. We could be seeing that upward move we were talking about in last night's video. Oil popped yesterday as well, around 130. Yeah, there were things hitting like new all-time highs and stuff, I feel like. Isabel, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you. Thank you for subscribing. Let's go through some of these, though. Let's see what the reaction is on these 15-minute charts. SPY. This one's going to have some difficulty. I think if we can reject off this area, we actually might just get that ABC move to start right now. Make sure to be careful over the weekend. This is some solid selling right here. Technically, you are still, I would say, in a negative gamma territory, right? You're below this area. You're hitting the second standard deviation. So we can see that resistance come in anywhere in this area. And then that selling can really continue. The key is similar thing. And key is similar thing, but this has an easier chance of remaining in this area. So it's got a good shot to stay in this area, right? So we want to pay attention if there's any kind of 15-minute rollover today. I think that would be pretty good. Jobs numbers came in pretty much like 300 something, like, right, like way over. But unemployment came down. People could convince themselves, hey, that this morning that's good, and then the real people step in and hit that sell button. Maybe after a bounce, they start to take some stuff off the table. IWM, this is one that I was actually looking at taking a trade on, possibly. Look at this. We actually have a divergence down here. We could see some kind of bounce. So IWM actually showing you divergence on the 30-minute here. So I want to see if that positivity leads to anything. We could still see a pop before CPI. This could be an overall overreaction, and we mentioned that in last night's video. We kind of were asking, we even asked on Patreon, like, do you think this is an overreaction? Right now, it kind of seems that way because we're not seeing that gap lower. We're not seeing it continue. Apple not necessarily seeing that strength. This one's kind of difficult. Like, you see divergence down here, right? If we come down a little lower, we could see that double bottom almost. And you're right by positive territory. So if stuff starts to curl up, we actually could see some positivity. I know that's crazy after yesterday. Tesla really selling off as well. We just got to see if this thing can hold up. This one's going to be a little bit more difficult from the technical side. You don't have much going on here besides the 30-minute crossing. I would really look at a 2-hour, see if that's going to cross down. But is that brief? We'll have to see. Is this just doing the head and shoulders we were talking about? At this point, you'd have to say it really looks like it. So if you break through this level, break through this low, you're heading a lot lower, it seems. You're going to test this one, maybe even head down to that 154.78. So keep your eye on Tesla this morning. Amazon, this one confirming another 2-hour divergence from this point here. We'll have to see. Maybe it wants to create one in the near term. Maybe on the 30-minute we want to create something, right? Get some kind of reaction up like this, maybe double top, something like that. But we have to see if that selling pressure comes in. We'll go back to the SPY in a moment. NVIDIA really wants to buy up from this area. Remember this 858. Pretty much you didn't want to lose this trend. I think you had a good shot coming down to 850 to 840, somewhere in this zone, right? So today, I would expect that. I'm not, the divergences on the RSI, I'm trying not to pay too much attention to this down here because it looks kind of wonky to me across the way here. So what I want is possibly us to actually see this go down even further, maybe create some kind of divergence, right? See a bounce today, drop next week. And then we'll have to see what happens with CPI. AMD, I think this still has that good shot, come down to 163. And then we can talk about a bounce for sure. But for now, 163, I think we even can go into some 15-minute chart. You see there's no divergences or anything. So if we do get some flagging like this, I suspect we get one more drop. Microsoft, Meta, this one, every single time it peeks its head out of up here, it just sees selling pressure. That's why I was leaning towards this thing dropping off. This was a great trade for myself. And we're seeing that thing pop up. Can it curl up? Positive territory. That's what you pay attention to the upside. And then to the downside, we probably want to look at maybe a 2-hour or something like that. If this can really curl over, we can be confident with those, that short position. By next week, I think you could maybe even say next week we go down a little lower. If you get that 2-hour to just cross over, we can test this level down here again. But in the nearest price action, what if we do this? Right, we get some kind of bounce with CPI. We get the left head, right shoulder. That definitely could happen. So pay attention to that. Microsoft, this one looked pretty good. It still has the opportunity if the 2-hour wants to turn up. I think it's the 30-minute I was looking at. You're just getting some crazy, interesting divergences, right? There is divergence here. You could see a pop. I know that's so weird after yesterday, but you came down into a level where you just created divergence by the center line. So kind of crazy there. Google, this one here, a little bit harder to get some kind of sustained bounce, I would say. I think this has the chance for some kind of lower high at this area. Now, if we wanted to go up from here, I think we'd see something like this, right? This would be very, very good structure to head up. So if you're going to continue down, this 2-hour is going to need some more pressure behind the selling, and you're seeing that bounce back at this moment. So I wanted to just put it out there that there are some stocks showing you actually some upward moves, and that's why we want to pay attention to that. We want to see IWM, if this thing can start to pop, maybe we get that to cross over, or is all this just a dead cat bounce? NVIDIA right now treating it like, hey, see the selling pressure. The selling pressure is there. So now anytime you come and retest something, like this low here, we retest, you're going to see selling pressure. Flag out, we're going to see selling pressure. So I think 15 minutes going to be your friend for the day. See if we can create anything by end of day. Luke, the hair looks sharp. Yeah, I went to my my old barber. She's great. More Pando, good morning. Naveed, good morning. And She's fantastic, but I came back. I haven't seen her in like 8 months, so it was interesting. And then I found out she's having a baby too in like 2 months. So that's awesome to hear. All right, guys. So I'm going to put us over on the cues for just a moment. We're going to see if we can form anything here. I'm just going to go make my morning coffee and make a little morning coffee for wifey. She's working hard. So I will be back in one moment. All right. And we're back and we have coffee and everything's good. The world is a good place again. Good morning, guys. As we're trickling in, thank you so much for the compliment on the haircut. Really, really appreciate that. If I had a prediction for Nvidia, it's kind of difficult to do just because look at that selling pressure. I would just say it needs to take back the 20 for me to be positive again. If this starts to reject from the 20 or something like that, that's something we can pay attention to today. Look where those moving averages are. They're like a lot of them. Look at this. It crossed to the downside. So we can use both of these as some resistance at this point. So this here would tell me, you know, Nvidia could see that reaction up, but will it just be brief? It very well could be brief, and then we see it fall down again. I think you would want to create some kind of divergence, some kind of bounce after that selling pressure, unless we just see some manipulation in this move and we just get this to buy right back up. Willow really wants people to hit that like button this morning. Yeah, that's true, Mark. That is something to look into. It very well could be. But if they can get us down, if we can hold below these points over the weekend, you could see the algorithms really start to take over, right? So we lost some very important supports. Say for the SPY, we lost it, but you know we could start to gain that area back. So what I want to do maybe with the SPY, Just look where that 20-day, look where that 10-day moving or that 5-day moving average is. You can see one thing here that's very cool. So we talked about some rejection by the weekly expected move at this point, using it as resistance. Well, we'd be doing a test of the 20 at that point. So we want to see where that 20 lies. Well, it's right at 516.17. So we might want to even draw a little line here and say, okay, 516, we'll say 516 like 25, 26. That'll be where our test really comes in, right? Give it a little bit of room. But overall, that's what I would pay attention to, the 15-minute, if we're able to get there. See if it's able to take that level back. That would be very, very important, I would think, because you're taking back the 20. So if we get something like this to occur, that would be very, very good, you know, especially if you can build that up, you know, into the end of the day like this, then it's a good chance we actually could recover from this. That's why I was putting out the video yesterday. Like, a lot of people are going to say, this is it, this is the crash, this is... it looked kind of like an overreaction to me. If we're not going to see that selling continue, especially if we're not going to see it continue in the morning, right? Then it might have been a little bit of an overreaction, but we have to see if we flag or anything like that. So it's hard to say what NVIDIA will do. I'm still leaning towards some kind of bounce up, and then we see that maybe ripped away, and we come down and test something like 840. I think 840 is a solid level. So that's what I'll be paying attention to. No real setups to take upside here. Meta, no real setup to take upside, right? No crossing of MACDs on 15 minutes. So like Amazon, this is some good buying back. This is a positive reaction, right? Look at that, just a V shape there. So this can recover. This can cross up and go positive. Can you add Google to the ranges? We're going to add Google this weekend. So J-Dubs this weekend, we'll be adding Google to the ranges. You do have the top side range right here, 155.89. The bottom side range, you didn't really come down towards it, so yeah, you had some room to the downside here. Honestly, you had some pretty solid room actually for Google here. You had like a whole nother, I don't know, what is that, 2.5 points down. So that's what I'm saying. We can look for little 15-minute rollovers, even 5-minute rollovers could work for us. These could just be bound, but this is a V shape right here for Amazon, so that's a little different. So we'll have to pay attention to what's happening there. IWM, I would really see if we can confirm this divergence down here. There's trades actually that could say there's positivity. Look at this divergence. We follow the technicals. That's divergence on a 30-minute. Could find an entry point here if you wanted to. If this just crosses up, look how close you are to the center line. This is a very, very cool looking trade right now. Sean Anderson, welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining, and thank you for subscribing. Awesome. Make sure to like the video for Sean out there. New guy coming in town. Good morning. What up, boy? Yes, Yesla. What about Tesla? Yeah, Tesla is the one that's a little more difficult, but look at that selling coming in. 30-minute just crossed, negative territory right below us. So you'd have to say if that continues, boom, this guy's going to be tested. I'm just kind of showing how there is some potential here to see a bounce, but will we just get rejected? That's what you have to see. So I'm not leaning towards a new high. I think that coming down this low actually gives you a higher opportunity for, you know, some kind of lower high at this point. So if we do see a bounce, I just want to see if that rejects. That's why we have this white line across the screen. This is going to be where our 20-day moving average is. Very, very important step here. So 20-day is going to be the most important thing to watch today. Remember what we said. This hasn't happened since 2023. We haven't gotten 2 bars confirming below the 20-day moving average since like in the last 170 days or something like that. Check the VIX. Oh, that's a good point. We do need to check at what the VIX is doing this morning, and you see it's holding up at higher levels. What does the VIX like? What does the MACD behavior like to do? We like to beat towards that center line, and then we see a pop. So we could be getting that beat down towards the center line, and then maybe we get some kind of 15-minute pop. I'd really like to see at least some kind of 15-minute divergence before I even think about a bounce. The thing about volatility, remember, it goes up fast, it comes down fast. So we can still find bounces and trades within this. We just want to be quick with it. This is at bear market level at this point, above 16. If we start to get above 20, we'll be very much so, even more so, leaning towards that bear market. So we just have to see, but I really think there's going I think there's going to be a bounce before CPI, maybe giving us a lower high. So I'm going to be holding on to stuff for a little bit longer. Didn't take profit right away. What I want to see is maybe a divergence on the 15-minute for the VIX before I really think that we're going to get a sustainable bounce. We're seeing this too, the dollar go up while the market goes up. TLT drop off. Remember, we talked about TLT creating another 30-minute divergence. Look at this, about to drop off, which means those yields might go up. Okay, so you have the potential for these yields to just keep going at this point if TLT rolls over. So yeah, this very well could be your dead cat. Yeah, it very well could. Remember on the SPY, just paying attention to where our 20 is. We can now use that as resistance. So a retest of the 20 makes sense. Actually, a retest of the 5 would make sense too. Look how far away we are from it. We're a pretty good amount away from it. So even if we get an overall retest of the 5, look for rejection off that as well. So another level to pay attention to, that 517.50 level. Going to be a good point to pay attention. But we mark off all this stuff. We see it as very important. It doesn't look like we're heading towards a range at this point. So that volatility has not fully come in. Maybe the 5-minute, look at that. Maybe that's going to, it looks a little flaggy here. I mean, it's pretty good upward move, actually. This is a pretty good pattern here to go up like this. But it is still sideways. It's different from Amazon, right? Amazon, boom, you see that thing just vertical right there. That's really what you wanted to see. And continuing to go at this point, Meta, seeing that go a little bit more vertical, but the overall stock market, right? This could be pretty flaggy at this point. Probability of them going up Monday, well, they're making big moves up right now while the dollar goes up, so that's not necessarily something I'm leaning towards. I was just showing you some kind of trade setup before the weekend. Actually, you do have 30-minute divergence on IWM that could confirm today. So you still want to trade with those technicals. You could be seeing some of that stuff come back down. I want to see, I think I have Russell volatility up here, and you don't have any divergence or anything like that, but maybe the 30-minute does, right? So the 30-minute creating a divergence on the Russell volatility. Okay, this is the Russell volatility right here. You're seeing the divergence. So if that crosses down, well, what do you have at the same time? You actually do have a 30-minute divergence at the same time. So there is potential for upside still, and that could have been an overreaction, and that's why we brought that up in last night's video. NVIDIA, you want to pay attention to 20-day moving average and things like that. So I'd pull up my daily chart. Look, I'd really just pay attention to the SPY in the 21st, but NVIDIA could go test that as well. So if you want to see where that heads up to, that would be somewhere around 881. 881 is where you're most likely going to test today. And you notice you have 2 moving averages above that. So there's some good resistance around 881. But for now, you just watch this. You just say, okay, if this sees a reaction up, does that tear back down? Remember, guys, this could be, big bounces that lead to the big dogs selling at those highs because we just sold out. It kind of got ripped away from people. So we could see that selling pressure come in. The fear is still high, right? The VIX is still a little bit higher. 5 is below the 20 on the Qs, but I don't think it's below the 20 on the SPY here. So that's something to pay attention to. NVIDIA, the 5 is kissing it right now. So this is where that resistance can come in. AMD, this one crossed a while ago, so you'd expect bottom Bollinger. I think this 163 is a good level still to pay attention to. Meta, you can react off these levels, right? We're hitting that trend line again. Will that just drop off? We'll have to see. But the Qs are really, this is the one that has crossed. Okay, so you have to say the Qs and into next week are kind of saying, hey, I'm crossing. And I haven't fully tested bottom Bollinger yet. After the cross, today is the cross, so you'd expect a test of bottom Bollinger at this point. Unless it's vertical. So look at this guy, remember this, but this wasn't around the 50, so it's a little bit different. We'll just have to see. You see, normally when we do crossover like this, we do immediately go for bottom Bollinger, get a bounce towards the 5, and then we rip back down. So keys here have the potential to actually break down a little bit further. And then maybe they break down further, reconnect with the 5, and we see another move down. Maybe they reconnect here and we see a move up. We're still going to pay attention to upside. You have to in a market like this. So 15 minute, we're going to go back over to the SPY for just a brief moment, make sure that's testing that level as of right now. So maybe something we want to look at is a 5 minute even, see if we have any kind of reaction from this level. This is our first big test. First big test. I mean, I'm leaning towards it, but I have to be open to the other side, right? I have to be open to anything happening. If I start to see like IWM confirming a lot of that divergence and things like that, I'll start to be like, okay, it's a little different now, right? But I can hold on to these just for a little bit. Yeah, I don't have to make a decision like right away, right? Because I take these out, I take these options out for like a month. So what I can even do is look in this area, look for some kind of bounce and add to it. If Amazon starts to make another high here, right? Look at this. Well, it might be creating some kind of divergence at this level. This is a big move. So 30 minute could just cross up and go positive here. But the 15 really telling me, hey, if I see more upside here, remember, this is all the weekly expected move for Amazon is right there. Okay, so the weekly expected move for Amazon, it's Friday, so 185.03. So we're just coming up to that level again. And will we just see it sell off from here? It very well could. Very well could. So what I want to do is pay attention, see if I can add to anything, because this doesn't look the best, but if it's going to see positivity, you notice that we're hitting the upside range. This is something you can do too. Remember, we're hitting the upside range. What's the SPY doing right now? It's testing the 20. It's testing the 20 right as we do that. So this is where you would expect some selling to come back in. But since I don't have to, it's still green, right? My position is still green. I don't have to cost average down into it. I don't have to do any of that because I'm still green at this point. If it starts to create another divergence, I can add to it. But as of right now, you're coming up into this. What if you just reject here? This would look really bad from a 15-minute perspective if you reject here and just lose all of this that you just bought back. But the fact that we are higher, we can now consolidate. Yeah, pretty solid. Sorry, baby girl was there for a sec. Had to say hi. So yeah, you do have stuff that can curl up. That's why you want to be open to upside. You're seeing some stuff. You know, this is still technically a higher low at this point. We didn't go make that divergence. We have a higher low. We could move up from here. SPY, you just want to see if that rejection is happening. I think this is really important to watch at this moment. So we just want to see the reaction here, maybe even dig down into a 5 minute, see if this can roll back down. As of right now, though, this is pretty strong. I mean, this is what you need to happen, but this is where kind of the first test is. So right now we're getting through the first test. Nvidia up 2%, right? Probably about to make its first test as well, right? Seeing it maybe test this 20 and then we see that drop off. Maybe test the 5 and the 20, see that drop off. Really, I just want to see if the SPY is going to make 2 days underneath the 20, right? That hasn't happened in a very long time. The last time it really happened was way back. Okay, so you're looking for when this thing actually closed beneath the 20 twice was way back in October. So you have 1 point we held up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. and now you have 7 happening right now. So we want to see. I think 2 confirming bars is really what you want to see out of this. And we're seeing some red come in right there, so that's a good level to pay attention to. What will NVIDIA drop off to? Most likely, if it's next week, something like 840 would look very, very good. Steve, how'd that short go for you? You might, you might have a 0 DTE today, so hopefully it worked out for you. Let's check on these. Look on the daily scale here. You see it's already tested the 20. We're seeing that fall off. So this here would be where I could see that rejecting, and then we come down to this wick, right? Maybe close this gap around 211, and we can see a bounce. Guess what? The 50 would be there. So once we test that 50, we could see some good news. I think the 50 might even rise up a tiny, tiny bit and come maybe towards something like this in this area, right? 800 would be good. But I think 840 is still an area I would look for a bounce. Just depends on how big of a bounce we really get today. If you keep bouncing from here, you have potential to hold up at a higher level like 840 for NVIDIA, but if it just kind of rips down again, we could see it go down pretty quick. Sold this morning, made 3K. Hey, congratulations, Steven. Thank you so much. Hopefully we gave you some helpful info. Hopefully you got some helpful info, because I know yesterday it just ripped away, but we were paying attention to certain levels. I was taking positions at certain levels, so we should have had a pretty good day today, honestly. TLT, touching the monthly. This one here, I'm really seeing if this 30-minute can roll over. Look at that, it's rolled over. Now we have to see, does that pressure keep going? Do we start to fall back down? That would be very interesting. Up here, you had a little 5-minute divergence, probably. Look at that. Yeah, a little 5-minute divergence up here. Little 15-minute divergence. So you'd have to say the trend can reverse here. We can start to stair step down with the TLT. VIX, you want to just see if this 15-minute can curl up. So if you're paying attention to the VIX, this is most likely going to be your second moment of a sell-off here. Will that affect these stocks that have built all the way back up like Amazon? We'll have to see. But right now, you're seeing it start to want to look like it wants to curl over. We'll have to see. Right, market not going anywhere. It's really not doing much. This is just some trickle up buying in the morning, it seems. The only thing I'm saying is pretty positive is Amazon. Amazon, that thing just moving. But is it just creating a double top up here now? It could be, because our weekly expected move's right above us. You'd have to say the daily expected move for Amazon we put out on Patreon. So if you want the daily expected moves, got to go over to Patreon. But I'll just give you this one. It's above the daily expected move right now. Okay, so this is outside of how high it was supposed to go today. So will that just drop off by end of day? It's starting to look like it might, because you have a 68% chance we land back down in this area down here. NVIDIA's daily expected move, right? We want to pay attention to that. It's a little bit higher, but we're seeing some resistance come in. What's another one with a good move here? AMD, maybe we can look at an AMD one. Well, we got a little bit of room left to the upside on this one as well. But remember, we have the same room to the downside, so it's something to pay attention to there. According to the daily expected moves, you could go down in AMD all the way down to like 160. Meta for the daily expected moves, a little bit higher as well, so a little bit higher here. But as you are approaching that early on in the day, you'd have to say the downside's looking a little juicier than the upside. Unless Amazon can now use this as support, right? Unless Amazon does this. So I would just keep my eye on this guy. 30-minute. If that curls up, positive territory, you could see a move up in IWM. We could get a reaction here. But that's where you want to make sure before you take anything that the SPY is able to take back this 20-day moving average. Right now, rejecting off of it as of right now. Obviously, we have plenty of time left in the day. But as of right now, a couple red bars right as we get up towards it. So I'm glad we marked that off. Yeah, that always sucks when that happens. I mean, You might need to put on some like notifications or something. Join the Patreon. Thank you for joining the Patreon. I like anime. Appreciate you being there. You can pull up those daily ranges now. And we give those out Thursday night. Good. Think SPY will keep going up Monday. Very well could. Very well could. I just would like to at least see a 5-minute before we actually go up. I'm fine with it going up next week. Actually, if we get a bounce before CPI, it's cool. It just rips down. I'll make money on the way down. We get a 5-minute, 15-minute divergence. Okay, now that comes back up next week. And then next week, maybe we actually see that, fall down with CPI. Maybe we get some kind of big bounce with CPI. We'll have to see. This is a good pullback at this point. It's still not the largest pullback that I think we would really need. I think you need a little bit more. But if we just take it from this level here, you got about 2%, okay? So maybe 2.5% total on this pullback from the highs. You probably need more than that. You probably need more than that before we see that buying really continue. I think at this point, you would have to say, like, we've gone up for so long that a test of the 50 would make sense. Where does that 50 lie? Well, it lies right by the monthly expected move. Okay, so down in this area, if we actually move down to there before CPI on next Wednesday, I think that would be very, very telling. I think you would get this to cross down. We'd see the 5 cross the 20. You'd say, okay, we're testing bottom Bollinger. Now we can get a reaction. What if we come and retest that 5-day moving average? Well, you'd get a solid bounce here. Even from CPI, if you got that bounce, you could bounce up. So we're still paying attention. We're trading exactly the same as we did throughout the week. Trading exactly the same. Well, no, maybe we want to take that 20 back. I think one to keep your eye on is that Amazon trade. This thing, now it's outside of its weekly as well. So this one here, this is like as high as Amazon is supposed to go. But the 30-minute might cross. I believe the 15-minute just did, right? The 15-minute has crossed. So if some kind of divergence forms here, this is a good one to pay attention to if you're looking for something that could experience some downside. See if this buying pressure doesn't add up. If we see that just ripped away, we could confirm a divergence. Look at you. You're right at negative territory. So I think you want to pay attention to Amazon today. Now, this is a V-shaped recovery, right? Boom. So you'd have to say this is bullish, right? Amazon taking back all of its moving averages, able to cross up on the MACD down here on the daily scale. In that bicycle, we could see more buying. So now I want to say, where's Amazon's monthly expected move? Okay, it's a little bit higher. We've got about 14 points higher to go before Amazon hits that monthly expected move. As of today, you'd have to say, hey, yeah, this is as high as we're definitely as high as we're supposed to go right now. So we want to see. SPY might be even taking back that 20 at this point. Nope, seeing more rejection. So you see the rejection off the 20. Right off that line we made. Oh god, DJT. DJ Trump. Falling off again. Nothing to see here. No, there's this downward move here. You want to see if you create any kind of divergences. Look at that. You're starting to create some. It just doesn't look the best. But the thing with this is we're going to see price get tight and we might see a reaction. I'd maybe just look for another chart, right? 2 hour, because the 30-minute looks wonky. Maybe look at my hourly. Okay, maybe if that crosses, I'd say there's positivity. But till that happens, this thing can just keep going. Look at all the room to the downside here on the MACD as it crossed. So not a good look. Amazon starting to top out right there. So good thing we mentioned that, because we could build sideways. Look at that. It's just kind of moving sideways on the 5-minute. So what if we just keep moving sideways here? Want to see if the SPY's really rejecting. Okay, SPY's rejecting at this point from that 20. Good thing we put that line up there, right? Puts are pretty expensive. Yeah, it's just because, especially because the premium should be higher now. So if you see big downward moves, that's usually when the puts become more expensive, right? It goes down, people start to, it's economics, right? When are puts most in demand? Well, when people see big red moves down, puts start to be on high demand. So then calls are usually the cheaper option. So really, puts are cheaper for, say, Amazon. Puts might be a little bit cheaper. Volatility is high, but you could see the short position here might be a little bit cheaper than taking something on DJT. NVIDIA, a little bit of rejection there, but I still think the SPY is the most important. Seeing that rejection off the 20 there, you'd have to say, oh, well, if we're not able to hold this move, we could head lower for the SPY. All right, we got our coffee. We got things moving. No structure for any bounces. The only one, not even on NVIDIA, no structure really for a bounce. Really, it's just pay attention to the VIX too. Look at that, about to curl up, 15-minute. If that thing can curl up and go positive, you're probably seeing another move down. And more Pando out there trading like water, looking at the VIX all the time. I love to see it. We literally talk about the VIX, and right away you're like, the VIX is higher, so same time. Good. I like it. Took it on Amazon. Make sure to get some time out on that one. Remember, it is crossing up. We could see some strength here, but this is where you expect that selling to continue, right? We come outside of the weekly. We come outside of the daily. Now we have to see, is it going to land back in that daily move? So take a look at the daily moves for Amazon as of right now, and we could end up a little bit lower here. 4-minute calls for 412, both cancel them out. Remember yesterday when you're like, I'm not trading NVIDIA anymore? Oh, God, that lasted. Oh, God. Yeah, NVIDIA here. I mean, you still could go a little bit higher, right? That 20-day moving average a little bit higher than here, but not looking the best. Tesla, we're just seeing little patterns sideways here. We can see this continue on the 15-minute. AMD, one to pay attention to. Damn. Meta, little bounce here. You see how these could be just very, very simple ABC moves. It literally could just be like this before we see the bounce. That's why volatility is higher, so you can pay attention to this 5-minute crossing over. That 5-minute just crosses, boom, we could see that downside come in. We could end up back below 501 on the Meta by the end of the day. So Fed speakers, when are they talking? That's maybe something we want to pay attention to. Maybe we can watch them or something. 11:15, we have Fed Bowman. Fed Barkin already spoke. Our prices are down. Unemployment, U6, 7.3. Non-farm payrolls, the private one, up as well. Government payrolls, up. Average weekly hours, up a tiny bit. Participation rate, 62.7%. 4.1 average hourly earnings year over year. That's as expected. Hourly earnings month over month, 0.3 coming in as expected. Unemployment rate coming in a little bit lower, and the non-farm payrolls going higher. That is actually kind of inflationary. If you remember paying attention to data in the past throughout this entire cycle, that actually is kind of inflationary. So yeah, that makes sense why you would see a little bit of an upward move, but I mean, this is kind of saying it's pulling down. I think you would actually expect this to be inflationary. Unemployment down, non-farm payrolls up. Like, that is a very, very strong jobs numbers there, very strong on unemployment to come down a little bit. So that is weird to see this actually pull back down for the yield. Weird to see TLT pop here. Maybe we do see this ripped away. Once again, see if the VIX can cross on the 15-minute. We're starting to get really close to the center line, so I would have to say I think a reaction is coming. Just because the dollar is coming up. Now the dollar's starting to back off, so maybe people are buying into this move at this point. We are able to take back the 20 at this point. We're above it right now. But Amazon telling you, hey, I'm tapped out. NVIDIA has a little bit of room up. AMD has a little bit of room up. Meta Little bit of room up here as well. Actually, not really. Meta, this is about it. Looks like 523. You got like one more point left in you, maybe. But right around this area here is going to be a big test. Okay, SPY not able to fully take it back. Getting rejection again. There's just big resistance above you here now. 25. The weekly range. All that stuff is right here. Amazon hitting it. So this looks like an area we could see that start to drop off. AMD burnt you yesterday. Well, let's see. At AMD, I mean, remember, we were talking about this a lot. You shouldn't be taking anything probably once you break this low, right? Because then you're saying cross down, negative territory. What do we do? I mean, if you were being very diligent, you would say crosses down, negative territory. I'm out of any upside right at this bar right here. Goes immediately negative, breaks this low. If you are holding anything, at this level here, you should know, hey, this is where I have to get out. So you'd most likely you'd want to stop. You'd want to be thinking about selling when that crosses, but have your stop at this low. Breaks that low, we head lower. So that's what I would say. It wasn't too surprising because we also had a 2-hour that crossed over as well. So that 2-hour crossed over, you could say, hey, I'm out for a moment here, right around 176.37. If this gets some kind of divergence, I can see that bounce. And you're seeing that divergence set up right now, right? But it's not on the MACD and RSI at the same time. Okay, so that's something to pay attention to here. This is why this could just be a pullback, and then we see that drop off. But the SPY, you see 2-hour even sitting a little bit higher here actually than the daily, so that's interesting. The daily 20 sitting right here. So that's why we're paying attention to at this moment. Thank you for liking. I saw that little heart in the corner of my eye. Someone liked the stream, and that's what I like. I like when you like. Greetings from Sweden. I have a short at 870 on NVIDIA. Should I let it? Okay, or just take the L, short on NVIDIA. Yeah, the overall short was yesterday, obviously, right? I mean, you would have caught this move, right? But it's okay. You just want to make sure to try to switch your mental, and when everything's bullish, look for some bearish stuff, and then have the bullish stuff like, oh, crossing into positive territory, that kind of thing. This here, once you see this rejection, obviously, that's really bad. So you want to see if you could have caught this in any way. Well, 30-minute rolling over, negative territory. I know we rolled over a few times. We got a few warning signs, right? Rolled over a little bit there, rolled over a little bit here, finally rolled over completely. This here, I would say your stop would be this low for sure, right? Stops here, that creates this. Okay, now you would say, well, what's the reasons for taking a trade, taking a short here? What's the reasons? I got nothing. I got nothing. I got no reason to take a short right here. I have reason to take a short here, but not right here. I don't. See this one? Curled down, cross on the MACD. One thing. Negative territory. Another thing. Could we create some kind of divergence? Do we cut through this low? Okay, third thing. Boom, take that short a little bit lower. Good move here. But this could just be a snapback, and when we see that keep flushing. There's no reason to even take calls at this level until we see some confirmation of stuff, until we see some structure. Do I even have a 5-minute divergence? No, I don't. So the reason that you could take a trade later on today is if you at least have something to go off of, right? See if this can do this and then go like that. Then you'd have something down here. But at least for my trading style, I wouldn't be trying to YOLO into this after a big sell-off. I would just be saying, hey, this could potentially roll up for a moment. Does it just reject from this level right here where it just sold off from? Well, we could see that happen today. So I'm just saying paying attention to the SPY around that 20-day moving average is going to be a big hint for the sentiment of the overall market. We take back the 20. It's just another moment where we couldn't get a second confirming bar below the 20. If we can reject off the 20 and see some selling pressure by end of day, then you would say, okay, cool. We finally have 2 closing bars. We're most likely going to test the 50. Meta's at the top of its. Amazon's outside of its. So a lot of things telling you this is as high as we can go. I mean, the stocks that were really holding us up, they're holding us up again, right? They're holding us up again, giving us a 15-minute divergence up here, right? Small 15-minute divergence here. Could be pretty good. And then the other one was Meta was one of the ones holding up. But you notice that's not even as strong as Amazon at this point. This could just be an ABC move, but it is a little vertical. So we want to pay attention to that. If this crosses, you can come test this level up here. Okay, so we can come test that level of this high. But the SPY's testing the 20-day moving average as of right now. And Meta is still trading outside of its weekly. Meta is now trading outside of its daily almost. So the daily expected move right there. So this is one that says this is as high as I'm supposed to go today. And when that's happening at the same time, the SPY is starting to reject a few times from that 20-day moving average. We know this is the battle, right? This is the battle right now. It's a war zone out there. It's World War III on the SPY right now because we have bears versus bulls at the 20-day moving average. See what happens from here. We're consolidating. That's not bad. If we keep consolidating, good sign that maybe we want to break above that by end of day. Because remember this, we're underneath this purple line. This is the bottom side of our weekly. You have a 68% chance to land right here. 68% chance right here. And you'd still be within the daily at this point. It's just a lot of the other stocks are saying, I'm tapped out. So we might just see selling pressure come in. I was obviously greedy from yesterday. That's all right. I just want to point that out and be like, you know, try to switch up that mentality just a little bit. Man, then really just switch it up just a tiny, tiny bit. Be like, okay, what are my reasons for taking a call here? What are my reasons for taking a put? Well, we just saw a sell-off. There's no entry point as of right now to get a short on NVIDIA. You want to wait for it to give you some kind of entry. If you wanted to play downside here, well, we might get that ABC move here. We go retest that 20. Then you could see that weakness come in, cross over on this 5-minute buy positive territory. Okay, then I'd have at least some kind of reason to take a little bit of a trade here. But as of right now, not really seeing anything. Keep a close eye on volatility on the 15-minute. This thing is going to be very telling. When this thing crosses up, that means volatility is going for another run. Will that volatility break us out of this wedge? You know, we're in this big wedge on the daily scale here. We're above the 20. We want to pay attention. Is the 50 cross, or we're above the 200. Sorry about that. Is the 50 going to cross the 200? It very well could very soon. So if CPI comes out bad for the market, I think we have that crash indication going up. I think it'll be more complicated. I'm actually starting to play with the idea that CPI is going to be good for the market. So I want to see if we get a bounce before CPI or if we continue selling off. We want a crash. Happy Friday wants a crash, and it's Friday, so happy Friday. We very well could. Now, one thing to pay attention to here, the Russell volatility, looking like it has some kind of divergence here. Make sure to pay attention to IWM at the same time, because that thing has a possible divergence going to confirm over here at the same time. So still giving you a little bit of a trade setup just in case we see that upside. I've been trading for 4 years now. The info and experience that you share on is priceless, to be honest. The work you do, stream day by every day. I wish you great success. Hey, thank you, Marina. I really appreciate that. Congratulations, 4 years trading. Hopefully everything's going well for you. I do notice, you know, the people who send me messages and stuff on Patreon, a lot of the people who message me on Patreon the most are taking profit early, are even donating to the channel because they're getting some good trade setups. And they're just overall trading like water out there. I think trading like water is a great strategy for this environment as of right now as we're approaching a top. So I really appreciate the good words, the cool words. Thank you for that. I think oh, sorry, I mumbled. I mumble a lot. CPI, I think I'm slightly thinking it could be good news for the market. I really am. And then we see it like ripped away with earnings. Retrace down until CPI data comes better than expected, causing a new all-time high that takes us until November. Then we fall. That's what I hope. Try to change the I hope into at least I think it's going to happen. Video debacle anyway, decent. I will buy your class. If I can get out of this NVIDIA debacle, oh yeah, you have calls or something. When CPI? April 10th. Yeah, so NVIDIA, this is just pay attention. If you're not going to see more upside if we most likely reject from this area pretty hard, curl down on the 5-minute. Now, it doesn't mean you can't get a reaction by end of day. I just think you at least want some kind of 5-minute diversion. But I do want to point out you have a big resistance right here. What are we doing? Well, we're flagging as of right now. Exxon Mobil, I haven't looked at that too much in the last day or so. Well, give me the ticker real quick. I need the pride ticker for that. I think there's 2 X's in Exxon or something. Yeah, there it is. It's literally Exxon. This one here, seeing that trickle up and up and up. The thing about this is you're going to create a 30-minute divergence right here. This kind of looks like your Meta, kind of looks like your Amazon, right? Just kind of booming like this on the 30-minute at least. Not necessarily. This looks like them on the daily. So this is just me saying this thing might be tapped out. It's crossing up positive territory, but this thing might be tapped out. You can see it's just moving and moving and moving. Look at all those here. But this is, I mean, technically the oil trade, right? This could be the oil trade. So that's what I would say here. If oil's going to back off, that would mean we most likely see what? Low CPI numbers. We stop buying into oil, or we see some kind of ceasefire overseas, maybe something like that. Because oil's just gonna, these things are gonna go ballistic if we keep that conflict up. Oil's just gonna keep going up. So you'd really hope for, if oil's going to back off, see that ceasefire come in over the weekend maybe. Gold, another 1% move higher. This thing is just nuts. 30-minute about to cross maybe positive territory. We can see another upward move here for gold. That's crazy. If it were only that easy, I know. If only we knew if they were going to do a ceasefire, then we could take a trade there. SMCI, I was actually looking at this one a little bit. Coming down into this area, I was looking for divergences here. Seeing if we could have some kind of pop. Have some kind of pop in this area. No real divergences at this point. Originally, we had like a little one at this bar, and I was seeing if that would form, but nothing really to go off of there. No real divergence here, so this could just be another dead cat bounce at this point. Guys, got to keep me updated if we actually take back that 20-day moving average. As of right now, we're flagging right before it. Not a bad sign to head up, but as we get closer to the center line, all we need is one selling bar, and boom, we might break through this low. Rallo Richie. This one here, if you're looking at GE, we looked at it, I think, yesterday. Look at that. That's a big move. This is one, again, you would say, hey, look at the divergences across the way. This is probably your last push. Honestly, that's what I would at least think from here. But we have resistance above us. So where's that resistance at? You're hitting those highs right now. So this is probably going to come to an abrupt end very soon for GE. Doesn't mean we can't go higher first. I'm just saying this area up here is going to be pretty much your last form of resistance as you're seeing that momentum really die out. Tesla showing you, hey, a reaction, a rejection. Now it's getting tight. So we'll have to see what happens there. Amazon heading a little bit higher. See if this 15-minute, 30-minute, see if this 15-minute divergence holds here. We're seeing that start to sell off. Remember, this thing could just be building up. What if some rich dude had a big position here? He just tells him and his buddies, yeah, let's pump this thing so I can get out. They show there's no need to cut the rate, only with... Yeah, so that is overall what I was saying about the data, Marina. This data is strong, guys. This data is strong. Let's actually pull it up for a sec. Look, I want to show you guys this data here. Non-farm payroll is coming in higher. Okay, so that is a strong market. Unemployment going down, that is a strong market in a time where inflation is the scare. That's why I'm surprised the 10-year is actually heading down right now. I actually think that the 10-year would be popping even higher from this. So the 10-year actually able to, see that resistance again at this level. So maybe we want to look at like a 30-minute or something, see if that actually curls over. But TLT, what I'm really watching, see if this curls down, because that could be very, very telling. And now that we have some structure, maybe we could do something like this, right? Maybe we do something like this, we clone it, we see if there's anything adding up here. Okay, we see this, let's go like that. Maybe we go a little bit lower, Okay, right there. That's probably your little channel here. So if it breaks through that channel, that would not be good news. How you'd most likely see this break down? Well, we're going to break down to this level here, maybe get a bounce, and then see that go a little bit lower. So we want to pay attention to any kind of divergence down at this low. Because TLT is outside of those ranges. Remember, TLT is what I made 115, 114% on yesterday. Little 15-minute divergence here. Boom, we get that pop. I'm not sold. I know this market's going to rip me around, so I take my profit early. The only ones that I haven't taken profit on early is yesterday's price action in case this continues. So got to see if this is able to hold above the 20, but this very well could be that rejection. So I'd be paying attention to this 5-minute rolling over. I think when that happens, testing this low, maybe making a new one. Do I think we hit the daily expected move with that rollover? Actually, I don't know if that happens. I think we maybe get a 5-minute divergence that gives us a bounce at this level. Then we bounce like this, maybe before CPI. Get some structure. Fool's hour is close to ending as of right now. In 1 minute, we got 1 minute till the retail hour is done, right? Then we'll have to see what happens. Seems like my short position ended up okay on NVIDIA. R&R ratio is such an important standpoint. Yeah, I totally believe that. Hector going to rally end of day into Monday. You really think so? All right. I respect that. One thing that's telling you it could rally was the IWM, but as of right now, not able to hold that 30-minute bounce. So if we do see more rejection here, you'd have to say, hey, further downside, but do we get some kind of positive reaction before CPI next week? That's what we'll see. So that's why I want to pay attention to everything intraday, see if we have 5-minute, 15-minute divergences by the end of the day, just in case we see a positive reaction next week. Shorts are going to start to take profits, so is the long swing. Weekly traders will add pressure. It's the end of the week. VIX and the dollar are dropping. I'd really see the dollar actually with that last selling bar starting to see a little pop. VIX is not dropping just yet. Look at the 15-minute actually. The 15 minutes about to curl up positive territory. So you're probably about to see a sharp move in volatility just for a moment here. And then we'll pay attention to any 15-minute divergences on the VIX. If you have 15-minute divergences on the VIX and you have like a 5-minute divergence on the actual market, we might actually see some upside next week going into CPI. So pretty much if we end up going way up before CPI, I'm going to be like, okay, CPI is probably bad. If we actually correct a little bit more before CPI, I'd be a little bit more open to like, hey, and then we want to look at fundamentals a little bit over the weekend, see how many people are saying CPI is going to come out bad, and then it comes out, right as expected, and then the market explodes higher, and then we maybe double down on something later on. We have to look at what news could come out. It's like FOMC minutes happens the same day. Okay, so if the FOMC minutes comes out and just talks about cutting, or maybe they say, yeah, we are not in a place to cut. What if you get a positive reaction in the morning, negative reaction in the afternoon? PPI month over month, remember that came in a little bit hotter last time. Okay, well now it's supposed to be 0.3, 0.4. Previous was 0.6, so we still could see some bad news there. It's just every single piece of data now we still have to pay attention to because this sell-off really did not fully continue in the month of April. So there's going to be a lot of rocks out there. We got to move around with that stream, right? We just want to flow, trade like water. Daddy's in the house. Yeah, and I think there's a potential short squeeze on volatility as well. Maybe that's something we could do for the end of the day here. Maybe look at some max pain. Maybe for NVIDIA and things like that. Let's do that. That'd be fun. All right, so NVIDIA sitting at 871-ish right now. Is that where it's sitting? Okay, seeing that roll back down here, 5-minute, curls down, negative territory. Not very good sign. But NVIDIA at 868, that call wall sitting at 900, the first one, the put wall at 850. So you're seeing how 850, 855, that 855 to 840 is where we actually could see a sustained bounce, but a lot of calls across the board for NVIDIA, 0.64 put to call ratio. So that is something huge to pay attention to. Let's check the ones that are making those big upward moves. Amazon had a huge call wall at 185, and guess where it's at right now? Well, it's at 185 and it's sold off. So there's your call wall. All those calls might start to take profit here. And in the meantime, it gave you a 15-minute divergence. So this thing kind of giving you another good price to get into if you wanted to here. Volatility a little higher, so it's going to be a little more expensive than it was yesterday. What's another one? I think it was Meta making that upward move towards its weekly. Remember, 535 is the big call wall here. A lot of calls on Meta as well. 535 just above us by a few points here, by about 10 points actually. We're going to see this is the big call wall. So if we run into weakness, remember, we still want to just be paying attention to the SPY. I think it's still consolidating right before the 20, so we can take this back here, guys. So IWM, this is maybe a setup for us. If this 30-minute can just cross, maybe we see that positivity into next week. It's just kind of rough when you see Amazon hitting a high, Meta hitting its daily, expect to move outside of its weekly. There's just a lot going on here. We could just see this ripped away. So I think really you don't want to get positive until we at least retake the 20-day moving average. Now, one thing to notice, that 5 days right above us, what do we like to do? Well, we see a dramatic move down, reconnect with the 5. We'll see from there. We could see that selling pressure add on. There's no divergences down here or anything. We're up towards that center line, but look at that flagging. That flagging's really good. It looks like we're going to make another upside move. How high could that go? Well, we would head up towards, let's see here. Let's see where we would head up towards. Looks like something around a 518.50. 518.50 would be where that 5-day is, somewhere around there. Oh, we have tummy aches this morning. Patreon Dallas, thank you for joining the Patreon. Appreciate you being there, bud. Amazon hit new high. Do you think major sell-off is coming on it and everything else? I mean, a signal's forming there. If the 15-minute can confirm, you might see that ripped away again. But it's like, you know, that's a V-shaped recovery, so that's a little bit different story. Now this thing has the potential to get a higher low here on the 5-minute, right? Higher low, then we make an ABC move up. You could see a touch of the monthly expected move next week. But I'm just saying that's why the SPY is the most important. Make sure this is rejecting. Right now you're consolidating at it, so the sellers have not stepped in. Bitcoin, this thing didn't have a reaction yesterday. That's a little bit of a hint there. I was looking at this last night a little bit just to see this 4-hour, and I kind of drew something up here. I'm thinking we're starting to see that price get tighter and tighter. I think an explosive move is coming. So what I want to see is, are we seeing, you know, this get tighter and tighter and then cross up positive territory right after CPI, right? Maybe CPI causes this to cross up, or maybe CPI crosses this down. That's the overall signal I think we want to pay. I think CPI is going to be very important, and the FOMC minutes. So, or maybe CPI is good and then FOMC is not good. Give me one sec. Bruce wasn't supposed to go outside, but he went outside. That's okay, though. So yeah, I'd say Bitcoin, it looks like it can go positive here, right? But I just say this about Bitcoin. It's getting tight, and now we're looking for an explosive move. Maybe you want to pull up a daily and see if this is able to curl up positive territory. Maybe we go make that divergence. Let's see, where would this kind of land us if this structure actually means anything? Well, if we break to the upside, you could see it go towards maybe 80,000 is what I would say. Not course here. I don't relate to the meme stocks. Yeah, so the chances of Nvidia going up from here, it depends. You have to retake 20-day moving average. The likelihood to head down is higher than the likelihood to head up from here. I'm not saying that from an overall trend perspective. The daily is in a positive trend. I'm just saying because we're below these moving averages, and if this actually happened, it would be the first time in a long time. It would be the first time in a long time. So you would expect a little bit of selling pressure, maybe down to the 50, and then we see that start to buy back up. So I'm not saying it can't move higher. I'm just saying in the near term, over the next week, you're seeing downward pressure. You're seeing a lot of negative trends. Doesn't mean we can't build back up. We pay attention to the signals. We pay attention if things get bullish, we get bullish, right? But as of right now, doesn't look the best from the daily perspective for a bounce unless we take back the 20-day moving average. That's what you'd have to say. So that's why, look at the SPY, starting to try to take back the 20-day moving average. Okay, so if we take back this 20, now we're taking it back. We're able to. Now you have resistance right above you, right? You have resistance right above you. Literally 516.64. So excited to be a part of the Patreon. Yeah, thank you for joining. We have a good time there. I don't think we're going to see a ton of trade setups today to put on there. I want us to be cautious over the weekend. You guys know that on Fridays, I don't like to post a lot of trade setups because the weekend we just had, possible World War III. We just had Fed speakers come out and said a bunch of stuff. So I'm not going to say, hey, yeah, I'm not even going to post this IWM trade that I'm seeing on there. Now, this could play out. I might pay attention to this signal and take a little trade on it because I'm trading like water. I'm like, hey, things can be positive. Boom, divergence here, positive territory. This is exactly the setup I look for. Talked about shorting gold at 23.20, which it just hit. What do you think about the negative divergence on the 2-hour chart? Thanks. Yeah, so I like to look at GLD, right? I like to look at this 30-minute creating that divergence. So if you see this divergence here, then you go look at a 2-hour. You see big 2-hour, well, flat divergence across the board. So this could be a pullback, but this is a big upward move. You'd want to see like, oh wait, this is all-time high, right? So nothing really going on there, but the 2-hour does have divergence. I'd pay more attention to that 30-minute for a position. And then on the daily scale, you don't really have divergence down here as well. So you could be experiencing a pullback in the near term. I would look for this 30-minute to confirm before I take anything down. I really would. This has been so strong. So maybe something that you could look at daily scale. Maybe it wants to reconnect with this 20 over some time, right? Maybe we do see a good bounce in April. We see this thing move upward a little bit as gold starts to come back down because gold's that inflationary play. So the fact that gold is hitting these highs before CPI could tell you, oh, what if CPI is a good number and tells gold like, hey, yeah, we don't need to hedge anymore, comes back to here, and then we get another piece of bad data, and then that curls back up. Taking upside here, not the best move. Taking a short position here, well, this is a ballistic move. It's very hard to catch the actual top, wait for a setup, 30-minute, crossing up, positive territory, wait for that divergence to confirm. Hey, this thing could just keep spiking. That's why I'm not like gonna post this to Patreon as a trade setup, right? And that is a good point. Fiat currency collapse. Yes, I love that statement. You are really big. No, I'm just trying to keep that in my head. I'm actually negative about CPI, but what I like to do a lot of the time is when I'm too negative about something and I'm seeing other people and I'm watching gold do this, I just want to keep saying it so that I'm open to it, if that makes sense. I can't see any edge in anything. Hate these times. Yeah, it's very hard. That's why when you do see a trade setup, I think you want to be taking profit a little earlier. You can ask more Pando. He's been taking profit early. My boy made 70% yesterday and like 20% the day before that. So the whispers are it's hot. Now it just depends how much it cooked. Well, remember the last time we were looking for that hot piece of data and we were like, actually, maybe we should be bullish after this. And then we ended up getting that trap, right? So there were plenty of times where it was like, oh, I think it was back into here. It was like, oh, this piece of data we get is going to be awful. Boom, it goes up. This is where we were very good at catching these traps, right? We were very, very good at it. Now we see that ABC move up. We see that go up to this. Really, we're just following the technicals, though. If this can reject from the 20-day moving average, the downside looks pretty juicy. Data already came out today, but I think next week you really want to pay attention to CPI on the 10th. I like the weekly ranges, so I'm glad you post that. Yeah, you'll see some good setups. Amazon giving you one right now. this high here. The thing is, they're very powerful early on in the week. If you can see a stock make a move that goes down to its expected move or up to its expected move very early on, Monday or Tuesday. We did it with Meta, right? Meta giving us that weekly move right away. Google giving us that weekly move, I think, right away. And we're going to be posting Google and Microsoft to the Patreon from now on. So good time to join. And then a good weekend to take that course. As this volatility increases, you can get that bear market strategy in the description. Gold silver ratio correction to its natural mining. And silver. Silver here, I did want to see this. I know that this thing's been just moving. So I wanted to see silver reacting a little bit late here, but still going up like that, so pretty good. No real divergences, nothing like that. Maybe you want to see that 30-minute divergence like on the gold, right? On gold. This hasn't made that extra move higher just yet. So that's something to pay attention to there, but right now we're seeing this start to pop up, go positive here. Let's see if we can get that to fully cross, but as of right now, you're just fighting. You're fighting with the bulls and the bears right now. I know. You guys didn't expect to see quite the battle today on today's live show. But thank you guys for liking. Seeing a bunch of likes trickle in. That's awesome. Just helps out the channel. So if you sitting there right now, you haven't liked, give a like to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. I mean, this is structure. This is a good flag here for the SPY. Yeah, this is also pretty much if this played out, you'd be testing the 5-day moving average. So maybe you want to test that. But by end of day, you do have that 68% chance to land right here. So just make sure you know that at this point, you do have a high percentage to land back in these purple lines. You're still within the daily. You'd be back within the weekly. Like there's still a good chance to land here. But if we just reject from this level, that's where you see something crazy happen. Maybe we rip to the downside. People start to sell off. It could. I would just say you don't want to retake the 20 and retake the weekly expected move. If we're going to see that sell off right now, we're retaking the 20. You're saying it worked before. It should be working, but that's all right. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's okay, Marina. Hello, Baruch. Everyone say hello, Baruch. Oh, Connie. Correction for sure. Connie's out there thinking we got a correction coming. She just commented on Patreon this morning. Works now. My brother's name is Bruce. Well, we have Bruce Wayne, and we have Alan Fieldhouse Hansen, and just Toby. Toby doesn't have a full name, right? Oh, his full name's Tobias. Tobias FLUKE. M777AXY, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know if that's popped up yet, but oh, there it is. Wait, this way. There it is. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate you. We are going to witness a transfer of wealth when silver run starts. And that's very true. People are looking for that reset, right? People looking for that reset. All right, we cleared the 0.236, so we're going to the 0.382 at minutes, this 517 area. Yeah, I'm still paying attention to when we test that 5-day. So are you just kind of pulling a, are you pulling a fib retracement? Is that what you're doing? A lot of the time I like my golden pocket. I set this up. I don't use it too often, but sometimes I'll use it in a very bearish or bearish move to see if we get a bounce up in this area, right? But we could get some rejection right around here. So 517 is what you're paying attention to. Yeah, fib there. I would just say if we're going to see rejection here, that would be a good thing for the short side. Bro, I love the way you think. AG flying and going to just keep going. And that, I think, yeah, the gold move is huge, but that just tells you, hey, watch out for inflation. There's a lot of hedging going on. But we gotta see if we see some kind of bounce positivity right before CPI. maybe that thing tears down, but if not, we might actually see a positive. Like I said, we're just going to react the day of, get out of our positions early if it's going the wrong way for us. I'm looking for this 15-minute on Amazon. This is looking pretty juicy. Hey, Marina, thank you so much for the coffee money. I appreciate it as always. Thank you for donating down on PayPal there in the link. I'm glad that link was able to work for you finally. Oh, what the heck are we doing? I didn't do Max Payne for the SPY. The SPY is really important today. I really should probably do that. Whoa, 530, big call. More puts in the system, down to 500. First call wall 520 maybe, but a lot of calls today. Damn, a lot of calls. Okay, so if we hold lower, if we see a downward move, this can get kind of ugly. Oh man, if those calls just start to hit that sell button with any kind of pop, they have calls all the way at 530, 527. Those are some two big ones, and then 535. So you got a lot of calls at 530. Like a lot. Hey, thanks, Ken. I appreciate that. But see that now we're taking this stuff back. Look at that reaction. So this is why we're just a little bit patient. We saw the consolidation. Now we move up. Now we have to see, maybe we want to mark off where that 5-day moving average is, right? So now we can mark off that 5-day moving average, move this thing. Actually, probably just create another one. We still want to pay attention if we're breaking below that. Bruce keeps running up and down the stairs. That guy, he's got a lot of energy. PayPal'd you a cup of coffee. I'm not in trades right now, just watching and waiting for the next. Hey, that's good. Being patient. PPL should appreciate your work. Or PPL. People should appreciate your work. People charge money for that. That's very true. That's why the one-on-one work is kind of hard for me to do right now. That's why I kind of stopped talking about that, because I was like, oh, well, I don't have a lot of time. You guys wouldn't believe it, but actually showing up even in the morning is a lot, because we got a lot going on with the baby girl and the little startup I'm working with, and then keeping up with all this stuff. It's very time consuming. But you guys know I appreciate you guys being here. You're always liking. If you can't donate to the channel, if you can't take the course, if you can't do anything like that, you don't want to join the Patreon, just like the video. Level 0 here. Does the course teach us how to set up the signals? Yeah, it actually does. Yep, it's very, very brief. It's very, very simple, but I literally show you guys how to just get MACD RSI on your stuff, and then we talk about the MACD very, very, very deep, right? Very in-depth. A lot of the things we pay attention to, a lot of people don't. So, like the center line being very important. Look at that. We're going positive. Look, when that positive move comes up, we see positivity, but we're close to that negative territory. This is the stuff you'll learn even on a 5-minute chart. If we just roll down from here, what are we doing? We're most likely testing the 5-day moving average. We got through our 2 levels of resistance. We talk about resistance as well. This here, you get through it. Now you want to pay attention to your next resistance level. You have a ton of resistance in this area. So at this point, you'd be like, okay, this one here, I want to see some kind of rejection, right? You pull up a 1 minute, there's probably some kind of divergence up here. We don't do 1-minute charts on this channel. I'm sorry, guys. Baby pets, live streaming, as hard as time consuming. Yeah, then we have Patreon on top of that. Trading in general. Like I still have to trade in between all this stuff. Physical silver is going to be a game changer. Yeah, that's actually the best point. So in these times, I mean, pretty much any time right now, because we do have a fiat currency, we are not at the gold standard. If you guys were part of my videos months ago, someone asked me, like, how could we have solved all of this problem? Why did this problem happen? I go, well, if you really want to get down to it, ever since we left the gold standard, that's when the problem really occurred. If we wanted the problem to go away, we'd have to go through some pain and probably go back to a gold standard dollar. Right now, you're dealing with the only value our dollar holds right now is some numbers on a computer. So go try to sell some numbers on a computer. You're not going to be able to do it. Be like, hey, would you like to buy 500 off my computer? Just the number 500. It's not a good thing. It is fake. There's no value to it. So that's what we're experiencing. That's why GDP going up, yeah, people are going to see that as positive, but you realize it costs almost triple the amount of what we made in the GDP to actually create that GDP in credit. Yes, yeah. So, yes, but it does hold value still because people are willing to accept it for food, accept it for groceries and things like that. So it still does have some value, but I'm just saying if we wanted to fix the problem, gold standard would be the thing. Lucas, do we have any important data coming out today? Alan, we already got the important data. All of it points towards stronger economy, stronger jobs, stronger unemployment, right? So unemployment coming down even a little bit. This is actually, that's all strong for the economy, which just invites more inflation. So that's probably why you're seeing gold that making a huge move today, because that's the correct reaction. That's the correct reaction. I'm going to tell you right now, this coming down is not the right one. Maybe we get the correct reaction right now as the TLT probably curls over this 30-minute. Look at that, TLT curling over the 30-minute. So you want to look at the difference between what TLT is doing and the SPY is doing. SPY could reject from this area. VIX starting to fall back down. Let's look at this 15-minute here, coming down towards that center line. So VIX needs to hold up here to see some more buying pressure. What are we seeing in the dollar? Saw that fall off. Let's see if that can make another move higher. But the overall stock market going up, testing the 5-day moving average at this point, right in this area. But 15-minute able to cross. So you could see some positivity, right? We could see that positivity. Is it going to last? I want to say no. I really want to say no, just because of Amazon doing this, Meta doing this, right? I think this is going to fade by end of day. That is just my personal opinion. I'm not really seeing signals that say it has to fade. I'm just looking for that rejection. Someone's banging water bowls and stuff upstairs. But how's everyone doing? Is anyone having some good trades out there? Let's see. Did anyone take some good profit? I know that we had someone make like $3,000, right? I think it was, I don't remember who it was, but congratulations. Big crash coming on the stocks. Yeah, I think that's coming. I think the big fake out would be CPI produces good news. Remember, I think this is going bear market. This is a good chance for a top here, right? Still is that good chance for the top here. We said that when that 2-hour divergence popped up. That's what we were saying for the SPY. Like, this is what you see at a top. You see something like this where we just can't get through this level. Then we said around this area. Now, what if we triple top? Boom, triple top comes in. Now we're seeing that happen. So you'd have to say, as we break through, maybe we're just testing this base right here of this double top, and we're just going to see that fail right at that 5-day moving average on the daily scale. So the 15-minute curling up shows you could see more upside. It makes sense that we end the day right here. This makes total sense. So even if we get a bigger reaction up, it makes sense for us to end in this area right here, I think. Excuse me. Oh, M7. What was your play on gold? I want to hear the price you or what you bought gold at, or how much physical gold. Actually, don't tell us how much physical gold you have. We don't want to put a target on your back or anything from the FBI or the government when they try to seize our gold soon. Excuse me. Excuse me. Gosh. All right, we're testing that 5-day moving average. As of right now, this white line is where that 5-day moving average sits. We consolidate in front of the 20. We pop higher. Now we have to see, is this some kind of move in here that's going to see that fade? 3-hour no or 3-minute, not 3-hour, no divergences, anything like that. 15-minute curling up. This is where you would expect some kind of selling pressure to come in, but if that just doesn't end up there, well, I'd have to say this level here pretty important. Cup, handle. What if we go higher? That's how much bigger goal you have while you're at it, your coordinates. Yeah, if you have your social nearby, your work schedule, maybe a lot combination. Do you have any dogs? we just slowly steal it. QQ 442, 433, then dump, maybe 79% chance. Where are you getting your probabilities from? What you would, and that wasn't sarcastic. That sounded rude. I was literally like, where are you getting your probabilities from? I want to hear your reasoning there. 422, yeah, makes sense. Daily expected move right above us for the Qs. SPY has some room, a little bit more room, I'd say, than the Qs here, just a little bit higher. So you want to see what exactly is it testing? Right now it's testing 5-day. I really think this area here is going to be your main resistance, right? That area with the 20 and the 5 touching. This should be a resistance level. We'll see if some selling comes in, but right now the VIX just continuing to drop off. Okay, continuing to drop off. What about this 5-minute divergence, though? What if this actually adds up to something? We'll see if that can go positive. It's pretty steep here. I know we're looking at a 5-minute, so take it with a grain of salt. But if that turns up from here, you got divergence, which says, hey, I'm going to probably roll up this 15-minute. Dow, this not making as strong of a move. Maybe we want to see what it's testing. Let's see. Testing the 50 at this point. So really not a strong move here. This crossed. I'd expect another downward move for the Dow. But really, we just want to be paying attention to the SPY. See if that signal is going to hold where we, close below the 20-day moving average 2 times. That hasn't happened yet this year. It really hasn't. So we want to pay attention 5-minute. See if we get rejection around this area. Or if we just see a big sell-off at the end of the day. That very well can happen. Banking collapse coming. Yeah, I've been talking about banking crisis for a long time. So you want to see 10-year starting to move higher. This is why your banks can get under a lot of pressure here, man. Your banks are under a lot of pressure, and I think the Fed's going to know it. So I wonder what they are going to do in their FOMC minutes. They probably don't change tone. It seems like they're not going to change tone. All right, we're bouncing around a lot. Let me leave it on here. We can look at NVIDIA in a little bit, maybe. Let's look at it now. Weirdly enough, good resistance level here. You have cup and a handle to head higher on the 5-minute here. This level here is actually good to make that cup right at this low, because you notice what's right across from it. So a good resistance level at this point. Across from there, bunch of liquidity, I would say. So you do have the potential for this to be resistance here, but look at this cup, handle. What if we actually head up here? It very well could happen. So now I want to check on my IWM. Is this 30-minute confirming upside? We'll have to see. Amazon, we're not seeing that sell off just yet, but now you have a 30-minute divergence up here. So things starting to look like you could, find some potential trade setups and things like that. We beginning. This looks like it might want to come up. Things starting to look like they want to curl up, man. We got to pay attention to upside. I know that this is where the selling could come in, but if we don't see it, that would just be right as I say that. God dang it. We got to still just leave this on a 5-minute, see if that crosses. I think this is the main thing to pay attention to most of the day now. Now we're hitting that 5. Do we see sellers come back in? You'd expect sellers to come back in at some point here. You really would. So I think it's interesting they've taken so long to really come back in. Yeah, commercial real estate delinquencies, all that stuff is starting to go up. So it's not good. Good part is I like my credit union. They actually post their balance sheet in the bank themselves. So I get to go in, I read their balance sheet. I'm like, oh, you guys are profitable. You guys look good. Not too much outstanding expense. So delinquency is not too high over there. So I'm like, okay, I can leave my money here. Q around the top side of the day range. Yeah, they're getting there. They've got some room up, but I think this is where we most likely we'll see some resistance as well, right? We have to, as we break through these, we have to look for the next one. This wasn't, so you would say this wasn't the target for the day. This wasn't the target for the day. Maybe this is. Maybe this is. Yo, I believe you, M7. I believe you. I ain't arguing over here. New York City earthquake. Was there an earthquake today? We had an explosion here today. All right, magnitude 4.8 earthquake, 2 miles from New Jersey. What I see. Earthquake shakes New York City area. Yeah, you saw that? I don't think it was right on New York. It seems like it was a little bit off, but it still shook the whole city. She's from New York. And her social security is no. Maybe SPY retest 513. You'd want to see probably a retest of the, see if it can break through this range again. So now you want to see if that gamma flip can happen again here. Ooh, Palantir. We haven't looked at Palantir today. Ooh, good bounce there for Palantir. Curled up, positive territory. Looks pretty good. If there's any potential more upside here. Ooh, good. Taking back the 50. You're still below the 20. 20 is the most important. You're getting that 5 to cross the 50 and things like that. So 20, you got to take that back. And I'm just saying that because you're getting price a little tighter. You could see a big move, but I'd say take back that 20. You can be a little bit more bullish there. Hey, Apple taking back the 5. Tesla, what you doing? You're rejecting off the 5. Amazon trying to go up to those highs again, setting up that divergence. That can confirm again, just looking for those 30-minute divergence for it. NVIDIA still holding below both moving averages, so you can see there's going to be big resistance right where we're at right now. AMD could get a bigger reaction, maybe to test the 5. We'll have to pay attention. What's the daily expected move for AMD? It's just a little bit above us, so another 1.5 above us. Meta, this one here, outside of its daily, outside of its weekly, this thing could really fade by end of day. Now, if this is going to see positivity into CPI, I would just look out for CPI. That's what I would say about Meta. Microsoft here, want to see, is this 2-hour able to actually curl up and go positive? You see it's sitting right at the center line here. Weirdly enough, I believe 30-minute might have a divergence for you. Buy positive territory. If you look across, maybe an hourly would be better to look at or something like that, but you can see the divergences across the way, across these bottoms here. So you could see this pop up. Maybe we get a reaction up. We see the 2-hour cross and we get a 2-hour divergence right before CPI. I am very open to positivity as well. So this 30-minute here for Google, we could be getting a move upward. So we want to pay attention to that. We really, in order to see that upward move, though, we got to be retaking that 5-day moving average for the SPY. You don't want any kind of rejection. So let's pay attention right now to the 5-minute. See if this crosses over in the next 20 minutes or so, or if we continue to consolidate like we did right here. If we consolidate like we did right here, hey, we can see another upward move. Just keep consolidating, heading up like that. Let's see if that resistance can come in right where we expect it right here. Love your streams. Be catching more lives. Wanted to check what's your trading story. Grew up around markets, farm and markets, or famine markets, school, trading courses. I taught myself with YouTube most of the time, but I did take probably like a couple $1,000s worth of courses. And I was originally a fundamental trader way back when I was like 20. And I got ruined. I got like all my money ripped away by a fraudulent, oh my God, what is Tesla doing? And then I just really dedicated myself to it, probably starting about 4 years ago. Really dedicated myself to it, became obsessed with it. Holy crap, what is Tesla doing? You guys, was there news? But yeah, my story is just I've been dedicated for a little bit of time here, man. I've been very dedicated to learning, learning from my mistakes, doing all that good stuff, and then I was just encouraged to try to do a YouTube channel. So this structure, by the way, remember we talked about this left head. Maybe we're just gonna go make a right shoulder with a retest. It's funny. We should put like a thumbs up here or something. You know what I mean? Because we literally were saying this is how it would break down. Now it's starting to break this level. See if it can lose this. Go make a new one. Maybe we find support at this level and get some kind of bounce. But I think 154.78 looks pretty good here. But this is exactly what we were saying, how it's going to head down. If we do see that positive move, look for rejection. Now we're seeing that. So we'll have to see if we're fully right on this. If we break through this level, head lower. But yeah, I think my biggest tip is try to pull emotions out of it, trade like water, like really just follow what the charts are saying and be willing to flip immediately. Those are things that I've learned, and then I learned, more about these indicators in depth myself, and created my own strategies, and that's what I'm sharing in my course down below. But yeah, I've gone through huge gains, huge losses. I know exactly what things I'm comfortable with now. I know that the way to make money in the market is the slow way, things like that. Really has helped me out. And that's why we're here to share all this and really just show you guys these technical trades, see if we can get better at this. Tesla cancels low-cost car plans. Tesla focuses on developing self-driving robot access on same small vehicle platform sources, RTRS. Tesla needs silver. Doesn't Tesla need like uranium? Isn't uranium the most important thing for electric vehicles? I can't remember fully. Robot axis. Robo taxis. Oh, fucking A, man. Oh, God. I was like, robot axis. Is that like robot Hitler's? Because the axis? Is that like robot Germans? No offense to you Germans. I'm sorry about that. That was a cold-hearted joke. I'm sorry. Cobalt, lithium, and copper. Okay, yeah, it's got to be electric conductor. This is why I stick to talk about charts, guys. Thing is, I did so much research on electric cars back in the day. Like when Tesla was really big, like probably a year ago, I did some very big stuff on it, and I like knew how much the weight of certain stuff was in it and things like that. And yeah. Plutonium? Nazis, not Germans. There you go. That's the way to put it. Germans are not Nazis, and Nazis are not Germans. But robot axis, that'd be really funny. There should be a video game like that. All right, robo taxis. I'm sorry if I offended any Germans out there. Danke. Danke for forgiving me. Yeah, the battery is the heaviest part, and I used to know I used to know so much about electric cars, and now I've just followed charts for so long. Bull trap, it very well could be Mojoma. Jumped in on the Tesla short. Hey, there you go, Aaron. There you go. There it is. Crashing down. Look at the structure. The structure looks fantastic. Make sure, you guys, it's Friday. We can still take profit on these types of things. All right, but oh, look at the structure. We called this one days in advance. We said that before this even broke. We were like, what if we come down to this level, pop up, get that retest, boom, left head, right shoulder. That's where it's good to kind of use your imagination and be like, if I was going to break down as Tesla right now, how would it happen? Well, I'd probably retest this level, get some kind of bounce for a retest on this trend, and then start to break down. Late day sell-off again. The probability is actually pretty high for stocks like Amazon. Amazon could see a sell-off right now. SPY could reject off of the 5-day moving average. 5-day moving average as of right now. Oh, Wolfenstein. I've actually played that. I played that when I was really, younger. It's not about robo taxis, but it's actually about robot access. Yeah, I've actually played that now that I think about it. But yeah, my brother was big into that game, my older brother. Amazon puss gon' fly. Amazon puss gon' fly. The funniest thing about this here is 30-minute just gave you another entry point. Like, how stupid is Amazon? We already had this. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it didn't. I think it used to scare me. You know what scared me as a kid was Doom. And I was little when it came out, but Halo for the first, like, I had never seen, like, Halo changed everything. So Halo gave me a little bit of a scare early on. I was like scared of the aliens. And then after like a week, I was playing the game, but I was just like, I've never seen something this good. Look at these graphics. They're insane. Is that 480p? I played the original Doom as well. Very scary as a young lad. Oh, very scary as a young lad. I just put in a short on Amazon. Just 40 shares. Hey, that's all right. That's all right. 40 shares or 40 contracts? Holy crap. I love Return to Castle Wolfenstein. My older brother played it too. The last one is crap, unfortunately. Yeah, my older brother is fun because I would just sit and watch him play games when I was younger. 30-minute divergence. One thing we notice here, 15-minute divergence on Amazon. 15-minute divergence here on Amazon. We could see that start to sell off. SPY starting to reject off the 5 as of right now. Still holding up. Like the 5-minute, you know, it looks a little worse on the 15, but the 5, we're still holding up here. I love that this always just turns into, what game do we play? Yo, I'll tell you what. I'll play someone in Valorant or League of Legends or TFT. Just gotta let me practice first. I need to get back into it. Oh my gosh, you play Rust. That's funny. Hey, that's all right. That's cool with me. Also, Chi-Town Real Estate, Indiana. Wait, Chicago Real Estate, Indiana? Apex? You Apex player? I'm an old guy on Rust. I'm 38, so I've played a lot. No Apex for me. We should just do a random gaming stream on Saturday. No, we can't do that. Oh, no. Okay. Remember, if we break through this again, now these are support, though. Just remember that. These two levels are going to be support. If you break through them, oh, it can get a little ugly. But if you get SPY to hit 510 before 3 p.m. Eastern, I will send you a $100 coffee gift card. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so the SPY going to come all the way down to here. Hopefully you make enough money before that. That would be a big move there. Yo, Chi-Town, you got that Chi-Town swag, huh? There's this girl in college. She was from Chicago. She talked funny. I used to call her Chi-Town swag because she was really cool. Oh, we're just ripping through that weekly expected move. My man, you want that Chi-Town swag, homie? Hello, fellow Chicago lander. Welcome to Chicago. So now, no chance SPY hits 510. There is a chance. I mean, look at this. It's within that daily expected move. There's a chance we just see this thing tear down. But to say that happens soon, it's like we can look at an hourly. It would take us some time to get there. Look how far away we are from 510. But it can happen, right? If this is just an ABC move today, we can see that happen. Holding up right now, though. Amazon gonna hit 182. It could. I think it could. This is your first sign that it's kind of coming down here, waiting for this 15-minute to confirm the divergence. But if this 15-minute confirms, you'd have to say the hourly is not going to be able to turn up. It's just going to reject. And we're going to see this actually drop into next week. That's what you'd have to say here. Tesla, how's that thing doing? Oh, God, not good. Wow, 30-minute crosses over, going negative as of now. This is where some support could add up. So now we want to look at our ranges for Tesla, right? We want to look at our ranges for Tesla. 165.67, so we're already outside of the daily range. and 164. We're outside of the daily and the weekly range, so the Tesla getting a bounce here is pretty probable, and just a little bit higher. That is a rejection bar there for the 30-minute, 15, some rejection bars there, 5. So we want to see maybe a 5-minute divergence is what we need before CPI. But this is one that I would say it's built up pretty well. So we could actually see a triple divergence here, right? We could do this, get that big bounce here, get a little bit tighter, create a triple divergence on a 5-minute next week, maybe outside of a weekly range or something. We'll have to look at those ranges. So make sure you guys are subscribed, liking, doing all that good stuff. Come back, turn on those notifications, because Sunday we'll give out these ranges. It's going to be very important for this week. This week, you're going to want to be very diligent, right? Watching the videos, make sure you have those daily ranges and showing up live if you can. Even just to lend an ear in, just to make sure you're listening to some of the stuff going on. All right, we weren't able to break through. We weren't able to break through just yet. Oh God, there was a lot happening. Thoughts on the inverted head and shoulders on SoFi. We can look at SoFi as well. The thing is, in this environment, you have a lot of stuff at those all-time highs. You can just continue to head down. Look at the 5-minute. Curls down, negative territory. Simple there. Maybe a 15-minute divergence here first. That would make some sense to get some upside. 2-hour, we can look at this. Wants to curl down. So downside looking a little bit probable here. On the daily, head and shoulders. It depends. I mean, if you're able to break through this level, I could see it. I mean, maybe these would be a better one, right? Break through 770 and close above it. I could see the head and shoulders here on like a 2-hour maybe. See that start to head up. But does that just get rejected? We come back down once. I would think earnings is probably going to be important for SoFi. He is rejecting off of the, well, not full rejection just yet, but we're testing those moving averages. There it is, SPY, testing that 5-day. So it's a good thing we're marking off these levels. We're finding the levels to pay attention to, but look what it's doing. It is consolidating again, a little bit deeper, but it is consolidating again. So look for that move higher. Amazon, maybe it wants to create a 5-minute divergence before falling down. Tesla, that thing, oof. You do have a 5-minute divergence here, but not on the MACD at the same time. So, but the probability of a bounce for Tesla here is a little bit higher. Be diligent, buy silver with your paper, fake money. That's true. Gold making another all-time high. Silver heading higher too. Gold been making new all-time highs almost every day the past 2 weeks. Is crazy. That's the inflationary hedge, man. I think that's the inflationary hedge and the weakness of the dollar. Like the actual buying power of the dollar is so low. It's a fiat currency. Gold is what you want to go to. There's potential for war coming up in the Middle East and things like that. Ukraine joining NATO going to piss off Russia. There's just so much going on for gold to rise. And oil breaking higher because of that conflict. Oil's going to get, premium on that. Demand's going to go up. So pretty much if you want to see those back off, you might need a ceasefire. Do I think that there should be a ceasefire? We'll see. But as of right now, you are in a good little pattern here. Just looking at this, it looks pretty similar. So you want to see, does this continue? We're in a little bit of a channel here. Once that breaks, we'll have to talk. The end is close. Rejection at 518. 518, given that rejection, but not able to curl down. Once that MACD curls down, we can be like, all right, probably going to test this low, but just be aware. You have big support beneath you. You are above the 20 right now. You are above the 20 right now. Yo, I'm down. The thing is, like, we'll see what happens with the whole Iran-Israel thing. Yeah, I'm down for us to start to, be fucking American again. Have some balls. I don't want people to die, that's for sure. Took a put on Meta. Ooh, okay. Damn, man, Israel ain't messing around. Hey, Meta, this is actually this is a double top setup. Look at that divergence on the 15-minute. Look how deep, look how crazy that is. Not even able to get overbought. So this is a moment where if this crosses over, you can see some weakness right here from the momentum standpoint. You still want to make sure we're starting to lose probably that 20-day moving average on the SPY right now. You're curling back up. Just be aware. There's a bunch of calls out there. Once they actually do hit that sell button, it could get ugly. I'm thinking that's going to be the case here. But the puts starting to rise intraday. So intraday, we're getting those puts to come into the market. So it might do this. It might linger higher for all of day, get these people to cancel out of those, and then maybe we go to the call side, and then boom, that thing starts to tear down. So that's something to pay attention to. Let's look at that gold move. My goodness. My goodness. Look at that thing rolling up. I would really pay attention to this 30-minute. I really think that. But this thing could go below. Like, this is a parabolic move. I wouldn't try to be betting against this or anything. Orange Hippo, what's up? Why did I immediately... Did anyone else imagine an Orange Hippo right when you read Orange Hippo? Oil as well, divergence here. This one has more structure to it, so you can probably pay attention to the divergence. But gold is just exploding, so I wouldn't really be trying to fight that. This one has structure to it, so you can look at USO, see the structure, 30-minute divergence. You're probably going to have a 2-hour up here as well. Hey, we hit my target. That's good. Target 82.90 or 82.90 was hit. That's kind of crazy. I made that target a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I think there's going to be some weakness for oil here. My opinion. Let's do this. Let's see that what the futures is doing on the daily here. I think there was something on here. 2-hour curled up. I mean, you can see the structure to head up based on the future, right? Like, boom, boom. We get a reaction like this. We can head up. Look around at some stuff. Oof. Palo Alto. Google. Microsoft. Ooh, Microsoft. Good move up here. AMD. Hey, Chi-Town. Thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for talking in the chat. You're making it fun today. I like it. NVIDIA still, 2-hour could curl up. Positive territory if it gets there. So we ought to be open to it, but I'm still leaning towards some kind of rejection at this point. But as we do flag, you'd have to say there's probably another move in this, right? We're still within the channel. Stay on the gold standard. Yeah, that's never going to happen again. Our politicians are war-hungry, greedy, power-hungry people. So they will never go back to the gold standard. It gives too much power to the actual people. You should get on a Bitcoin standard if that happened. Oof. What's your thoughts on the VIX? I'm still holding UVXY from February. They AMD hugging lower weekly. You got a little bounce here. What were we asked about? It was VIX. Yeah, we can go look at that again. We're still seeing this hold up. I would really just pay attention if this 15-minute crosses up. You notice it's not crashing down dramatically or anything. 5-minute, you're even getting some divergence down here, pretty steep. So if you wanted to, it's like this is the moment. I think you got one more pop in the VIX before we see a little bit of a bounce, before you maybe want to take profit before a big event like CPI. And then we're saying bye-bye to Tesla, right, Schmitty? This thing breaking down even further now. So we're not able to hold up at this low. We're just tanking. So hopefully someone was able to enjoy this, right? We were talking about this for a little while now. We actually gave the setup before it even happened. So Tesla, this is a great setup. And now we can just start to flush. So I would be looking for this area down here, 160.50 for a bounce. If we don't hold that, I think you're just going to 154.78 very quickly. But we still want to keep our eye on the prize. That would be these 5 minutes starting to roll over. Look at Apple looking like it wants to roll over. IWM looking like it wants to roll over. Q's looking like it wants to roll over. SPY looking like it wants to roll over. A lot of stuff on the 5 minute here saying I might roll over here, and guess what? I'll be going negative. It could. I mean, if the Tesla pressure continues, but the thing is, we know that people have just been rotating out of Tesla. People have rotated out of Tesla to NVIDIA, to AMD, to SMCI, to DJT, DJ Trump. Gold has more use than silver. Gold doesn't rust like silver. Gold is a conductor, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Gold electronics, because it can conduct electricity. Gold will always be a higher standard than silver. I think it will. I think still copper is probably a very, very good thing. Oh yeah, we haven't looked at Netflix today. Let's go give Netflix a peek. Oh, look at that, coming up. All right, let's see, 30 minute. Let's just do a good assessment here. If it crosses positive territory, I don't have a weekly range for this. We can see a little positivity, but this looks a lot like a meta, right? This looks a lot like meta. Just coming up to that point again, maybe giving you a slight double top. So that's what I'd say about Netflix. The thing about Netflix is you have so many little divergences going on. If you see positivity, right, cross up positive, we can get it. But you can see from the perspective of momentum, like this looks worn out. This looks just worn out. So I think we could see a downward move for Netflix soon. I'm just paying attention to what stocks are doing before CPI comes out. Where's that SPY? I think the SPY is still the most important thing to watch today. We've got a channel. Do we lose the channel? Do we consolidate with the channel? Do we head upward with the channel? Right now, heading upward, going to test that 5-day again. So let's see what happens here. See if we can roll over this MACD. But right now, the only thing really looking hellish is Tesla. Down we go, lads. Oh, laddie. The stock market's about to go down. Oh, yeah. It's about to go down. You bit. Go, get your ass out the car. Look at the silver depletion on Earth, just like BDC. Gold comes out. Tesla definitely losing its Mag 7 status. Probably is. Is SPY and things correct? You look at SQQQ, UVXY, CBOE, and Dixie as plays that go up, or are there any things you look to for an up play when market heads down? When market heads down, I like to take the opposite. You know what I mean? So I do like SQQQ, UVXY, or just taking overall shorts on an actual stock. I did a UVXY play before that big push, that first big push in volatility. Made a nice little 100% there real quick. So UVXY you can do. You just want to be very tactical. SQQQ you can hold a little longer than UVXY. So you can hold it a little longer, but you still don't want to go like, I would say more than 2 weeks holding SQQQ. Just because those bounces can kind of rip away some of your profit. It's very good. It's still good. You can trade it on the way down, kind of treat it like a swing trade, right? Just look for when the Qs are going to bust down again, like curl over on a 2 hour after a big drop, and then you see the next drop. Okay, buy SQQQ. Okay, cool. Like that's kind of how I do it. You're in a playful mood today. I love it. Yeah, it's Friday. You gotta love Fridays, man. Bearish Hamel candlestick on the 30-minute on the SPY. Very well could be, but let's take a look at that yeah, that's I mean, if you cross here, this would be good. I mean, the 5-minute, you're just going and testing it. I still think a 5 minute's good to look at. All you have to do is see if this rolls over, and boom, you're gonna probably see downside. I got some silver in my computer. I'm gonna tell my wife it's an investment and I need a new one. I need a new computer, guys. Does someone, work with a computer company or something and could get me a computer on the Chizeep? I don't know why I'm talking like this today, but I'm having fun. Who let me have fun? Stop letting me have fun, guys. All right, while you guys go ask your friend if they can give me a new computer, I'm going to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And we're back! What happened while I was gone? What happened while I was gone, guys? And thank you for the public bathroom break announcements. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be going to put some... What am I going to do? I'm going to drain the main vein. Sorry about that. That was uncalled for. I'm sorry about that one, guys. That's my bad. But I will tell you when I'm going to drop the kids off at the pool. Meet you in the alley out back. Bring your gold and Social Security. Taking the Browns to the Super Bowl. No, we're not doing that this morning, guys. We're looking at stocks. This is a serious channel here. No, sometimes I think you got to make it a little bit funny, right? You got to joke around a little bit. Losing money like I do. God, you got to keep those emotions high, you know? Chi-Town, what do you do for... Oh, real estate. Okay. Where do you do real... Oh, okay. Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. Never mind. We're good. I got it. I'm ever looking for a house out there. Never been to Chicago. Is it cool? I just read crime statistics in Chicago. Chicagoland sounds like a fun place, though. It sounds like a place with, like, roller coasters. Tesla is... Look at that. Boom. This is why you got to take profit early. Remember, weekly expected move. You had a high chance for this to bounce here. $5 1 minute candle, probably manipulation at that point. Someone needs to get out of a position or something like that. But SPY here, this is the main thing we're paying attention to. I keep my eye up here. You can keep your eye right over here. You can see that -3. Chicago's massing. I was freezing in Chicago in the middle of June. Forget about it. Yeah, I don't like the cold, unfortunately. Look at this, though. We built some more structure. What if we head a little bit higher? We are rebuilding. Maybe before CPI? Interesting. You know, the more we go positive here, let's see what this has to say. Stocks gain as U.S. labor strength signals a strong economy. What does a strong economy say about inflation? Well, gold's telling us, holy crap, that's really bad. Gold's telling us, wow, we need to hedge against inflation again. And the market's like, woo, inflation, let's go. Like, people just don't know that this is a huge inflation scare. Tesla just pumped and wants to stay at the Mag 7 so bad. The article sounds like Jay Powell wrote it. Yeah. He's like, we might do rate cuts. Stock market goes up, but not very soon. Stock market goes a little down, but we're going to do them. Stock market goes up, but just maybe by the end of the year, stocks go down. But we could do them sooner. Okay, stocks go up. Everyone has 4 jobs. Jobs is still searched 700% now. I looked at it yesterday. The word jobs is being searched 700% more than this time last year. So maybe people do need multiple jobs, and that's pumping the numbers. The illegal immigration definitely pumping those numbers. Used to live downtown 10 years ago. No, thank you. Expensive and high crime. Jay Powell could say he had a dream about a stock cut working, and it would run to new all-time highs. He's like, yeah, I actually jumped into my new Tempur-Pedic bed and had a soft landing. Stock market goes up. Sorry, Jay Powell. This thing's gonna crash down. But till it does, we can play with it, right? If he wants to keep pumping it up, we just watch these 2 hours cross into positive territory and we just take those calls, baby. We're fine with that. Let's see this 2 hour curl up, Jerome. Let's see this 2 hour curl up into positive territory, Jerome. And then we'll say, hey, yeah, this thing can go higher and we're gonna be a part of that. Shower thoughts, rate cuts. Need my myrrh. Maybe here took everything off the table today. Any tips? I'm waiting for the shit show till Tuesday. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point right there, Fab Mixer. Very, very good to stay patient before a big event like CPI. I think CPI is going to be the big thing. Just some tip here is we're moving up because of the data showing a strong economy. You know what else moves up in a strong economy? Inflation. Okay, not eflation. That would be an email version of inflation where you get more emails. I'm talking about inflation, where your groceries become more expensive. And then CPI is going to come out and be like, oh, we came in lower because we don't calculate groceries and stuff like that. Just kidding. If we start to move higher here, I'm going to say CPI is going to be bad. But if we start to get around that 50 before CPI, I think we could see a positive reaction. So being patient before, look for setups. Don't just take a YOLO play or anything like that. That's the overall big tip here. We're taking back the 5. Eflation. Maybe that's why the economy is strong. I'm getting so many emails about helping this prince over in Indonesia. Trade like honey, you be okay. No, trade like water. Don't be sticky like honey and be stuck to being a bull or a bear. Be willing to adapt to the market. That's the best thing you can do in a market like this, Fab. Hyperinflation, then stagflation, and that is what we are going to experience. If the economy keeps going up and we keep going more into debt and just keep it going, it's going to be awful. Really, these yields should be heading up from here. They're not. And that's perfectly fine. We can pay attention to the signals here. 30-minute, crossing down, negative territory. We'll have to see what happens with TLT, but the 10-year starting to drop off again. Dollar starting to drop off again. VIX starting to drop off again. So you'd have to say we're looking for the next turn up of this 30-minute. Still in positive territory volatility. So by end of day, we could see something rip down. Remember, there's a ton of calls. So the sentiment for today is starting to add up to some positivity, and then so we got some zero DTE, puts that are coming in, so that can push this, squeeze people higher and higher as long as this remains. So 30-minute, you'd have to say curling up, possibility for positive territory. You have a divergence here, flatness of the MACD down here, not on the RSI. So I do believe this will be a pullback. It could continue all throughout CPI though. So we'll look at what stocks look like before CPI, and that's going to be a big, big indication there. But gold ripping, dollar not seeing that strength anymore. It is strong, but you'd really want to see some kind of bigger reaction out of the dollar, bigger reaction out of the yields based on this data. Put was great on Tesla till that huge green candle. Well, hopefully you knew you were outside of the weekly, you were outside of the daily. That's when you take profit. If you really want to get good at this stuff using the weekly ranges on Patreon, take the course, guys. Take it over the weekend. You'll come on Monday and be like, this is awesome. Okay, now I know these things. I know when to take profit. Tesla, where should you have taken profit according to how we do things here? Or 164. Actually, 164 is where you would be wanting to take profit. You see an extra move down below that, that's great. Anywhere in this, you want to be taking profit on this move. According to what we teach over on the course, this is a good area to take that. Because once you get down past 164, you have a 68% chance to land up in this zone. So as we come down at manipulation, we see that come right back up. So good chance to take profit there. Now you can just hold up in this level for the rest of the day. SPY, look at that. We retested. We're able to retake the 5 and the 20 at this point. We just have to see if it holds by end of day now. So still paying attention to this 5 minutes, seeing if that can curl up. 15-minute even. You can look for this to curl down as well. I just think the 5 minute might give you that trigger a little sooner. So what we want to look for in the 5 minute is if we start to do something like this, and then we see that pattern go again, where we see that buying pattern. This is just kind of just trickling up, consolidating, trickling up, right? Move, consolidate, move, consolidate, move. When will this die out? Well, we just took back the 5. So you'd have to target maybe 520.30 here. Maybe 520.30 wants to be where we go. We're about to get overbought on the 5 minute as well. So we're towards that center line, see if that can curl down. But not seeing that as of right now. IWM, let's see if this is crossing. This is a trade setup here, guys. 30-minute, about to cross. Good divergence here. So this is something I would really pay attention to now. But at the same time, how much upside do we have? We have things like Meta, like Amazon saying we're pretty tapped out again. Google maybe about to make an upward move, but that thing's going to come outside the weekly if that happens today. Netflix kind of tapped out. Microsoft looking like it's probably tapped out according to our daily expected moves, right? We gave you those for Meta. Guess where we're at? Daily expected move right here. Literally where that wick goes to, daily expected move. So upside is limited now according to today's ranges. Except for Tesla. Tesla broke down, so. But we have to have volatility curl back up into positive territory. Look where the 15-minute is. It's right at that center line. So right now, you would say this is kind of a moment where you'd want to see volatility come back in. What's your take on gold and oil for ETFs? Gold looks like it could just go insane. But this is, gold's kind of telling me like, hey, people are really hedging against inflation right now, but maybe this fades with the CPI report. But there is potential for this to just go ballistic. We're in a time where we are not in control of inflation. The Fed has told you multiple times they are not in control of inflation. Real inflation, I believe, is still above like 10 or 15%. So that is very bad. And people are running to gold, and that makes total sense because gold holds more value in an inflationary environment because of what M7's been saying, right? M7's been saying, hey, yeah, the dollar loses its value, so therefore gold is better. Gold is not a fiat at this point. You want to probably physical gold is the least fiat you can get, right? This can be pumped up with fake money too, GLD, but if you actually get into real gold, that's where the hedge is the best. Why does the market hate me? I don't know. I don't know. NVIDIA building momentum. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. We haven't looked at that for a minute here. It's building, but there's a problem here. It's still not above the 20. It's still not above the 5. Okay, so be careful. We could get that rejection here. But we haven't seen this happen. We haven't had a closing below the 20, so this is all kind of new as far as today's market goes. Will that rejection come in? Well, we can look at a 5-minute, see if that wants to reject at this level. Let's see if we can form anything here. Well, we see some consolidation, actually. So if I just do this, right, maybe we connect it all the way across. We can see something there. What if we start to break through this right here on the upside, right? What if we start to break that? That's what I would look for at this moment. See if the 5 minutes able to reject from here, because that 20-day moving average is right here. So that makes a lot of sense. We want to look at the Qs. They're coming up towards the upside here. Most likely you have little 3-minute divergences and things like that. The SPY, this thing, keeps ripping, keeps ripping, keeps ripping. It's holding above the 5 at this point. So you're still looking for some kind of rejection. No real rejection coming as of right now. But it can happen anywhere around this 5-day moving average. And oil. Okay, so oil's the one that I'm like, okay, this one has more potential to drop, by the way, just because it has structure to it. So because it has structure to it, we can see a little bit better like normal price action. So beat down, curls up. Now we have divergence forming, not confirmed yet. So this can go higher and then start to drop off. We'll have to see gold making that move higher. Divergences. But like I said, this thing is going just parabolic. Like there's no structure in the 30-minute. It's just going. It's really just going. It beat down for a brief moment here, curled back up, positive territory. Entry on this, I mean, if you wanted to get in, I mean, the confirmation was right here. I would like more of a beat down before I get in. Not necessarily looking at gold. I'm kind of sitting on the sidelines, just being comfortable with my positions for the next month or so. Yeah, the cost on it, it's $199, probably the best value course you're going to see, the best quality course for that price. Some people, I know I've paid, probably over $2,000 for all the course I've taken. But it's just a compilation of what I see as the most important things to become a good trader. And so we talk about the indicators, we go in depth about the MACD, RSI. We give some perspective that not a lot of people talk about, and people are really enjoying that. You might see some people even comment like, hey, yeah, the course really did help me. I know I have a few people that were really excited after the course, messaging me all the time like, hey, this is the most profitable I've been in a long time. We go over weekly ranges, how to utilize them, why they are important, and what they actually are. And I think that's a very, very good thing. So the course is very efficient, very, very quality, very simple. I think if you keep things a little simpler for yourself, it can really help you out. A lot of people liking my section on the 3 to 5 reasons to take a trade. I literally walk you through the reasons that I formulate. Yeah, lifetime, by the way. It's not some subscription or anything like that. It is a one-time payment and you own it. So you can, I literally in the videos, I encourage you to come back and watch it multiple times. If you're seeing a setup in front of yourself and you're like, okay, let me make sure I'm thinking about this correctly. Maybe I want to go watch the divergences video again. Okay, get a little refresher. Now you can be comfortable taking that. If you see a trade setup or something like that, and you want to be like, I want to make sure to have those 5 reasons. Okay, you can go back to the 5 reasons section. So yeah, $199, you have it forever. And if we add to it, you'll get those as well. So you don't have to pay extra if we add to it. So it's a great thing to take over the weekend. But yeah, I really like the sections about the MACD. I think the MACD is what my friends said was very beneficial. Divergence was beneficial to them. And just the explanation of the weekly ranges. I even give you a way to form them and a strategy around it. So weekly ranges are very, very good, but understanding exactly what they are is even better. So that's why early on in the week, we were like, we're going to see a bounce. Why we came to the weekly range. Once you take the course, you understand better like what the reasoning behind why we could see a bounce from here. Okay, so the course helps you out with that. It'll tell you what indicators, how to get them on your chart, all that good stuff. It's very, very good. I'm seeing a lot of positive feedback, so I'm really glad that it's helping people out. And the people who are doing it to a T, more Pando, I'm going to shout you out. Dave's really liked the course as well, but more Pando, he's really been going at it, trading like water, taking his profit a little earlier. We talk about all those things in the course, and yeah, it's very good. Is there a one-to-one with yourself professionally? I'm trying to think about that. I'm really just I don't have a lot of free time. This stream is really the thing that I dedicate myself to right now in the YouTube videos. I still have to trade. I have to take care of my family and things like that. So I'm trying to price it out, and I'm realizing my time might be a little more valuable than what I wanted to price it at. I want it to be a good price and things like that to work on me one-on-one for an hour. I don't want it to be crazy ridiculous, but my time is limited, so I'm still working on that at this moment. We're also talking now about a possible Discord and things like that too. So there's just a lot on the plate right now, and I got to figure out which piece is better. Is that euros? Yeah, I mean you can. I'm pretty sure the course is available to everyone if you're trying to pay for any with any currency, but yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. Gonna get even worse as the little one gets older. It's true. It's true. Maybe she'll make friends or something like that, and she can go over there. Right now, she goes over to Grandma and Abuelo's house a lot, but not today. So today we might be ending here in about 8 minutes. We're gonna do a breakdown, and then I probably gotta pop off. My sister has a big event going on. She is the like GM for a like a Asian seafood store. They get really nice Wagyu beef and crab legs and things like that. They get imported. Kansas, it's hard to get a lot of that good stuff. So they get that stuff imported, and they're having a big event today, which I think they're giving away $1,000 at the end of it. So I'm gonna go. Meta on the 30-minute. Let's go check that one out. Ooh. Look at that. We could be double topping here. You do have potential to break to the upside, but Meta way outside of its weekly expected move still. Outside of the daily too, I believe, right? I think it was like 425. Or I'm sorry, 525. Let me go look. 524-ish. So you're outside of the daily expected move right now for Meta. So the probability to end in this area is 68%. So to end below where we're at now is about 68% chance. So downside looking a little juicier for Meta than the upside right now. But in order for that to happen, we got to get this to roll back down. We got to see those sellers step in. NVIDIA to 930. I think it's not too probable at this point until we see some more structure. So I would say if I start to see, this drop off dramatically, we see a test of the 50, we can start to talk about it. Call volume on the SPY. I haven't seen it come down necessarily yet. You're going to notice once it comes down. I'm just going to say that. Once people start hitting the sell button, I think you're really going to see it pile on. That's if it comes to fruition, right? So if it actually happens, because right now you're just seeing the 5. This is what you want to see. That's strength coming up. If I just put it on a different chart, the 30-minute, that looks pretty vertical, doesn't it? So this could be dead cat bounce if we see that ripped away. But right now that could be a recovery. So I would just say for the SPY, crossing up positive territory on the 30-minute, pay attention to that. But as of right now, you got to say, looking pretty trappy for the bears at this moment. We'll have to see if this is ripped away by end of day. But you can see the put volume still remaining, or the puts still remaining high in the market. So PCC still remaining up here. So now you want to see, well, if people start to sell off those puts, we could squeeze. We could squeeze here pretty good. If not, if we're going to see it pile on and see some profit taking from the call side, that would be interesting. Triple M. This one, still same thing, guys. A lot of these 5 minutes look very, very similar, like they want to curl down into negative territory. But you can notice the SPY didn't do that. The SPY just going up and up. So now you'd have to be open to this doing something like this and then going for another run, right? So pay attention to that before CPI. Maybe this bounce lasts until CPI or something like that. But you'd have to say it might want to digest on the 5 minute soon because it's getting overbought. There probably will be a mention of no cuts. Can I watch that live, by the way, review? Let's see if we can go watch that live. Because if so, then I'll hang out for a little bit. We'll see what can happen there. Seeing a place to watch it live at this moment. Wonder what her tone has been lately. Wonder if she has a Twitter. Remember, I don't really have a Twitter. I just have a pretty much a nothing one, so I can search for things like this. I don't see a Twitter anything, so we can't really get updates from that. If someone can find a link to that, maybe you could email it to me real quick. If you find a link to where she's actually going to talk today. We're almost to that daily move. The Q is about to that daily move as well. So this is like your last line in the sand where those sellers could step in, is right up in this area. Did I even look at MMM? I don't even think I looked at that really. Just looks like it's curling down into negative territory on the 5 minute, but you are consolidating up here, so there's potential to head higher. Maybe looking for a 2 hour, right, just be a little bit patient, look for a 2 hour to curl up. Think about this, you have that divergence up ahead. So this is kind of leaning towards maybe a 30-minute pop and drop. But if that positivity comes in, well, we could bounce all the way up to something like 92.50 and then see that drop off. Meta giving you divergence on the 5 minute now. Amazon giving you setting up a divergence on the 5 minute now right before Michelle Bowman talks. So it's going to be on her shoulders. If she talks no rate cuts, we could see a big move higher in the VIX. We could see a big move. Actually, let's go look at the VIX as well. Look at that thing just dropping off, not able to confirm those divergences on the MACD, creating a divergence down here on the RSI. We'll pay attention to that, but really the 15-minute going negative here. You need to see this turn back around. This is starting to add up to a 2-hour crossing down. 2-hour crossing down here would not be the best, right? That would mean we're going to see a positive move going forward. Now, if that positive move goes all the way through to CPI, we might have to talk about that. Some of my other advisors have told me that Comcast will be going back down based on the charts. What do you think? I think we did this one a little bit ago this morning, or Comcast, ExxonMobil. The thing about this is the oil thing too, so you can do some based on Exxon. Yeah, my bad. So you're seeing this come up. I don't know why I said Comcast, but you're just noticing this go up here. You have a slight divergence at the top here. I'm just stating that this is a big move based on some political stuff too. So this could just keep ripping. I just think it's very, look at this thing move. Any time in this move, you could say, oh, it's going to reconnect with the 20 at some point. It just never does. So the whole month of March, you could have said, you know, right here, we're going to reconnect with 20. We didn't. We're going higher. We didn't. We didn't. Eventually it will, but it's just very hard to actually catch the real setup for this. I would say a 2-hour divergence is something I would look for. You're getting that in the nearest price action, but you don't have it very firmly anywhere else. Maybe a 30-minute divergence, right? We're seeing maybe a 30-minute divergence here. That's when I would say you could take a chance on it, but it's just going to be very, very difficult. NVIDIA, we can go check on that real quick. Hey, we got a buy signal. I mean, we got this thing going up and up and up, but is this going to fade? This is just kind of stair-stepping up. We'll have to see on the 5-minute. But if you pull up a 30-minute, doesn't that look better? It looks a little V-shaped. So on the 5-minute, yeah, you can see price getting tight, and we're going to get an explosive move. Will that be up? Will that be down? Reminder why you're not a day trader right here. But it is a psycho move after yesterday, like seeing Amazon go to highs, Meta go to break through its highs. Like that's just very interesting. Seems like manipulative behavior, right? Let's say some big dogs have Meta. Well, they just convinced their buddies to buy it. Now you have 30-minute divergence up here, double top forming up here. 15-minute going to be what I follow on this one. Look for another entry point. Look at that. We have another entry point right here. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a reason to be out of it just yet. Plants you got behind you, that's the wife's plants. I don't know what they are. I just know I'm supposed to talk nicely to them in the morning. So now you can look for a 15-minute divergence or something before CPI. If this wants to drop off. But as this does go up, you just want to see if it's kind of flagging or anything like that. Yeah, we have a lot of we had a lot of plants, then we moved, so we had to get rid of a bunch, but your wife loves plants. You want the hack. If she's in a bad mood, take her to a plant shop out of the blue. That's what I do. Call wise, I think a lot of people are going to rotate into energy and things like that. So oil and stuff like that's being rotated into. Honestly, something you could be looking at doing is where's my okay, where is it? It's UUP, right? The US dollar index here, 2 hours. So what I would see is if the dollar is going to make another move higher, curl up on the 2-hour positive territory, you can kind of swing with this one, right? You just took this at 28.29, oh, 28.42. Now this doesn't move crazy, but this is something that I would pay attention to. Another hedge that people are using is Bitcoin, so you can pay attention to what it is doing. Now this thing has broken down. It's not as good of a hedge at all as gold. So gold, what you'd really like to see is maybe some kind of beat down and then curl back up. This is what we should have been taking calls on most likely for a lot of these. Potential for calls next week. That's what I would say. I think next week you have potential if we sell off from here to get some trade setups. But as of right now, I'm not seeing any reason that a lot of stocks should head up. I'm really not, unless we just see the craziness continue, which Jerome Powell's allowing. NVIDIA ripping. Yeah, NVIDIA ripping. So now we want to pay attention to what's our daily expected move for NVIDIA here. Okay, so NVIDIA here, daily expected move. We're at it. This is it. So for the whole day, and we are at 11 o'clock. We got hours left. We got, what, 4 hours left in the market. That would tell me, okay, this is as high as NVIDIA is supposed to go today. So I'd expect some resistance here. It is insane. Whereas Clyde, since you went live up 1%, needed to go up 3. I mean, it's ripping. 2 hour, still positive at this point. Be a little careful though, because this thing can fade almost any moment. I would look at a 30-minute actually. You probably have a 30-minute divergence here forming, yeah. So I think that you might be seeing a top up here for Murr. Sounds like an old man. Merle. But Murray. Yeah, this could cross up and go positive, but you're already overbought. So this might be where taking it off the table is a good option. Now this could just explode, right? We're still seeing oil, gold, all things like that explode higher. Yeah, this is why we talked about a bounce up to this area, though. It was probable to bounce from here. You have to say, the Qs, we made sure to say it, 68% chance to do this. Literally a 68% chance to do this. So now we're seeing that happen. Is that going to fade by end of day, close somewhere around here, and then we hit the bottom side of our daily expected move on Monday, or hit the bottom of the weekly before CPI? That would be very telling. I think the sellers step in very, very soon. I think they step in very, very soon as NVIDIA's hitting its daily expected move. We're seeing the Qs go up towards its daily expected move. SPY go up towards it. Meta's outside of it. Amazon's outside of it. Bunch of stuff like that happening across the board here. So if you wanted to, real quick, we could just go through and I'll have the ranges up and we'll see which ones are outside of their daily expected move. All right, let's do that. SPY testing near it. Qs testing near it. Apple. Let's see what that one's doing. Well, 171. Okay, so 171 was our daily expected move. We're starting to see resistance right here is actually that daily expected move way up here. So you do have some room to the upside for this one. Tesla, this one breaking down, but we use the bottom side daily expected move to take profit. Okay, so 165 right in this area is that daily expected move. So Tesla right at it at this point. Amazon, we know this one's outside of it. We're creating some divergence across the way here. It's on a 5 minute, so take it with a grain of salt, but you do have a 30-minute up here as well. So pay attention to that. If the 5 minute rolls down, goes negative, that could be big. But 183, we're above that at this point. So you're above the daily, you're at the weekly expected move. You're just above it right now. So you do have that 68% chance from here to land right here for the week. And you have a 68% chance for the day to land back down in this area. So this could be ripped away. NVIDIA, right? Top side expected move being hit as of right now, 885. We're getting outside of that right now. So be a little cautious here. 68% chance we land a little bit down from here. All right. AMD, this seeing a pretty strong move. 172.50, so a little bit higher, and then we could be at that weekly expected move, or daily expected move. So we're seeing a lot of stuff towards that daily expected moves. Meta, we know this one's outside of the daily expected move, right? 523 for the daily expected move. Go over on Patreon if you want those for sure levels here, but 523 is what I want to pay attention to. We're outside of the weekly, way down here. We're outside of the daily, not looking pretty. 5 minute divergence, 30-minute double top. A lot of stuff to look at with Meta here. TLT, one thing, let's just bounce over there. Okay, the daily expected move for TLT today, down towards 91.37. Did we go towards that? We did. Then we popped back up. We are not towards a daily expected move at this point. If anything, we're close to the downside. Maybe we get a divergence before that happens. So that's what I'd pay attention to there. Microsoft, we started giving out Microsoft and Google. You're going to get the weeklies for Microsoft and Google if you join Patreon today. Okay, you have the weeklies. We're going to give those out on Sunday. So this week is going to be very good. We're adding to it. Where was Microsoft's upside? 425. Look where we're at. That daily expected move, actually. Sorry, daily expected move. We're right there right now. Google, another one that's seeing some strength. Well, where are we at? Let's look at our daily expected move here, 155. Well, look where we're at. So everything is at its daily expected move to the upside, and we still have about 4 hours left of trading to go for right now. So pay attention to that, as we could see that speaker come out, and we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, it literally is screaming, if you took a 0 DTE today to the upside, this is a good point to take some off of the table. That's what I would have to say. I need NVIDIA to drop 850 and then go back to 900. What the? When's the speaker? Apparently it's like right now, I believe. So Fed Bowman's supposed to talk at 11:15, so about 5 minutes till that happens, and you're seeing everything touch their upside daily expected moves at the same time. So the probability for a drop from here is pretty high, 68% at this point, pretty much across the board. For many, many stocks, you have a 68% chance for a drop in the next like 30 minutes. Why aren't whales investing in NVIDIA? Probably because they know something we don't. You don't even need to ask whales, Rebecca. Why is the CEO of NVIDIA selling a bunch of NVIDIA over the last month? That's what you should be asking. The CEO of the company is selling a bunch of NVIDIA. Might not be good news coming around the corner. Never hurts to take profit. You will never go broke taking profit, and we've learned that a lot on this channel. I think a lot of people who just, were hopefully told by me, just take profit a little earlier. Stop looking for those expected moves. When you make a good amount of money, like, just take profit. And I think that's working for a lot of people. Let's print puts. Let's print puts. Let's print puts. Background chant at the next Fed speaking event. AI is potentially a longer way off due to supply, and that might be true. That might be true, and maybe we do need some kind of correction to head higher. A little bit more time consolidating throughout the next couple months, and then we can see another upside move. But we'll talk about with that when it comes, Douglas. I think a teardown in the last hour would make sense. It actually would make more sense for some kind of pullback right here. If we're going to head up into next week, we could see that pullback. So what you're looking for is not a waterfall, but at this point, if we did an ABC move, where would we end up? That's overall what you want to think. Okay, so, well, where would we end up? We'd probably end up doing something like this. Let's say we sell off from right here, right now. Well, we might go towards that monthly expected move, which is what we've said in yesterday's video, that we could head to the monthly before CPI. That would be huge. No, I have never used AI to invest. No. I'll ask AI quick questions. I'll ask AI maybe to like make something with keywords for marketing for SEO purposes, but other than that, that's all I use it for. Second leg's always a bit longer. I don't know after this one, but if it is a bit longer, then monthly expected move. This is where we say, hey, downside for the month of April is limited. So if we do this before CPI, if we make a dramatic move before CPI down to this area, we could see a positive CPI reading. That would be crazy. We could see some kind of upward move off of CPI if CPI gives a good print. Yeah, I use it mostly for just like research purposes. Yeah, I would say research purposes. If I'm trying to like make something with keywords real quick, or like not necessarily my like YouTube titles or anything like that, but any kind of I do not use it for my Patreon at all. I wanted to make that very, very clear. But you can use it mainly, I would say, for what's it called? If you need something typed and you just need some keywords in it, and then you just want to read over it and make sure it's good. But that's all I would use it for. Which AI? I've been using, I guess it's called Gemini now. I like the Bard one, Gemini, the Google one. little better than ChatGPT. I felt like the Google one made the most sense. It's like everything you need to search for is on Google, so why not use the Google AI? Google one is woke. Yeah, we don't ask it political things. Oh my god, I did that one night. One night I went on a ChatGPT binge and I got it to I asked it what a woman was and stuff. Yeah, the Bard, it's called Gemini now, I think, or something like that. Something like that. Let's see. If you just type Bard. Yeah, gemini.google.com. Oh, sometimes I use it to make Google Sheets and things like that. So I have it for like Excel calculations or like making the formula so I don't mess it up. I'll be like, hey, this is the formula I need on Google Sheets. Can you build it for me? And it'll like show me how to build it. It gets it wrong a lot of the time and I have to fix it, but it gets me to a point where it's easy to put together. I've done that before. You can actually get it to create like little extensions on Google, which is very, very cool. You can create a Chrome extension. You can be like, build an extension that gives me, I don't know, positive quotes every time I click a go button, or I need some positivity button. Maybe if you wanted to like increase morale around the office, you build that, you put it on every computer. Maybe that computer even, maybe that system it builds, you can have it build in a like link to BetterHelp or something like that too. Thought about doing something like that, but my thoughts on Ukraine is, well, we said, I think it was Russia said, if Ukraine joins NATO, they are going to set off a new or like start World War III, and I think that's really what you should worry about. My thing would be this: I don't even know if NATO's a good thing anymore. I really don't. I probably need to research into it further. Actually, yeah, that's probably the answer here. I probably should research into it further before commenting. I've been kind of absorbed by stocks this week, so I haven't done a lot of research on anything. I just know that them joining NATO is going to piss Russia off, and I probably would try to refrain from that. That's probably the way to put it, Douglas. Man, I'm getting burned. I did not expect this today. Yeah, that's why I take things out for a month. I'm totally comfortable. You guys don't think I could have made a bunch of money yesterday? And I thought there was going to be a big bounce today. But I'm like, you know what? I'm being patient. I'm chilling. I'm still comfortable. Amazon creating a divergence for me. Meta creating a 5-minute divergence for me. About to top out. Look at that. Double top up here. I am by no means scared by any upside here, actually, because I take my plays a month out and I can add to them and things like that. If I the thing is, I haven't really gone negative on my options yet, even with this big upward move, because I bought such a good area. So I'm not too worried. But I'm being risk averse. I'm open to this going higher, so I have to be patient with it. Now, would I have loved to take profit yesterday, seen a big move today, and then, you know, reapply into those positions? Hell yeah, would have loved it. But that's okay. I can add to the position. I think there is a bigger drop coming. Yeah, and I think that's something with NATO. It's like, how much does Ukraine produce a ton of value to NATO by joining? How much drawdown is my max? Alan, maybe it's my brain, but ask in a different way. Ask a little bit different way. Be a little specific. Like drawdown for which stock, or yeah. Oh, like percentage lost before I'm going to like reapply the position, like add to the position or anything like that, or get rid of my position. Okay, stopped. So, I mean, if I had stops here, I would just be saying if I don't see any downward move. I think it's this. I'm gonna watch the 5 minute today. If I start to see flagging, I'll just get out of a position. Right? I'm not worried about it too much. Also, I'm holding a month out. I just want you to see where this position is for Amazon, right? I want you to see where this position is. It's literally like at this high. I got it almost on the T here on this spike right here. We didn't even reconnect with the 20 on that move yesterday. So I'm not convinced. I'm looking for a drop down to 166.12. That's what I think is going to happen this month. Love the course. Very helpful. My knowledge is increasing. Thank you. Carlos, appreciate that. And that's a note to people over the weekend. If you got a free weekend, take that course. But Carlos, I am glad it was beneficial to you. I hope keeping things a little simpler and just realizing how you can really make these basic indicators work for you. You don't have to go buy some big thing. You don't have to invest in some big thing. You don't have to invest in a $2,000 course. Just get a really good understanding for $200. Get a really good understanding of these indicators and get a good understanding of the ranges, and you'll have a completely different outlook on the stock market. How much did you pay, Carlos? Oh, they might have got in for the $100 one, right? Last month we said this month is probably going to put us. Last month we said it's going to be a month full of traps, so get the course while you can because we're going to go into a bear market soon. This month we're saying I think we're going to experience a big drop. That means more incentive. That means a lot of growth. Well, the thing with Tesla is this news here not the best, right? Tesla cancels low cost vehicle plans. So they're canceling the low cost. The reason that is bad is because a lot of people don't have money. A lot of people don't have the even credit right now to be able to buy a Tesla for what, $50,000 or something. I don't even know how much those are running for now. So they were coming out with the low cost one that was very, very good because that would allow lower people like middle class and stuff like that to be able to get more Teslas, more electric vehicles. Now you're not going to see that low cost vehicle. So it closes down their demographic. I like bear markets too, man. Oh, I love me a bear market. I love looking at this chart right here. You can. I'm gonna say this. If you take 35 to 50K for a Model 3, okay. If you take the course, that strategy is going to be very good. As long as that volatility is above like 16 or 20, that strategy is really, really good, guys. Like, I'm just saying. Now you can swing trade the way down. So you would say like Apple here, maybe you pull up a 2 hour, you just look for that move towards the center line, you see that cross, boom, you're below the 200 on the daily, so you see this cross down, lower prices are coming. 172 moves all the way down to 169. That move right there, if you're taking the correct option, should be enough to at least give you 50% or 100%. Oh, NVIDIA, remember, this thing is at its daily expected move, and we're starting to consolidate as of right now by it, okay? We're consolidating. So if we keep moving sideways and down like this, you have potential to break through. I'd pay attention to this crossing of the MACD. I'd pay attention to it going negative at this point. You see how it's a little high up? You want that to go negative at this point. Your thoughts on the conflict in Israel pressure? I mean, the conflict, that's just going to cause, if we hit war or anything like that, it's going to cause oil to go insane. That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing oil go insane. If you see a ceasefire, you're going to see oil probably back off. But as Ukraine's doing that, and we're seeing things increase with Iran and Israel, it's like oil's going to go insane. So swing trading oil was a good move throughout all this. Video going up with that move. Depends where you got your short. I think you could be comfortable here for a moment. You just don't want to see this break through and start to use the daily expected move over on Patreon. You just don't want that to start to be gained back and head up from it. So 885, really pay attention to that. You're noticing 884.50, 885. That's pretty much where you're seeing that resistance. So if we do consolidate, break through that by end of day, you want to be a little bit more like, oof, this might be bad. But you could see a move like this and then just see that drop off by end of day. So I expect us to see some volatility right now. So speaking of volatility, let's go look at that real quick. Wasn't able to watch the speaker, so let's just break down some stuff. Remember, volatility here, not going to be an easy go of things, right? The 15 minutes still in an area where we can turn up. I would look for a divergence before I say there's some kind of bigger drop. Now we can look for that divergence on a 30 minutes. So you could see volatility for a good period of time before CPI. What if that creates some kind of divergence before CPI? That's something we'll really pay attention to. If we start seeing divergences to the downside as the same time as to the upside on the VIX, that could be very, very telling going forward. The SPY able to curl up as of right now on this 30-minute MACD. This will print, and you want to see, is it going to bust through this daily expected move? If it busts through, we can use that as support to head higher. The likelihood of that happening right now is low, though. As we get into other stocks, we'll talk about that, but the Q's hitting that upside range at this point, so I'm expecting some volatility to increase right now. I would just pay attention, 5-minute actually rolling over, see if that's more flagging or if we're seeing a sudden drop, right? This is still a stair stepper up for the Qs here on a 5-minute. What if we just flush? So there is potential for that. This area right here, if you have 0 DTE, this is, if you have calls, this is really where you want to start thinking about taking some profit. IWM. This one here, not able to curl up just yet on the 30-minute, but I wanted to point out the divergence. If we're going to see an upside move, IWM could be a good one. You have divergence down here. That likes to curl up the 2-hour, so the 2-hour could curl up and go positive here. Maybe we make a new high here, right? We're coming down into a point where we're going to find that support, this trend line. Now we see the 30-minute divergence. What if we do that, create that divergence in the near price action? Apple, this one, turning up. Is it going to go positive? We'll have to see. 30-minute, maybe we want to look at that for a moment. Hey, guess what? We said we could base out from this area. I thought we might dip a little lower, give us some kind of double bottom, but you see the 30-minute curls up, positive territory, could see that good move. The only reason you want to be worried about taking these upside moves is because Tesla really breaking down. Yeah, that's seeing a divergence down here. So this one could see a big upward move too. But at the same time, Tesla's not looking strong on the daily side of things. Amazon showing you a 30-minute divergence, while showing you a 5-minute divergence right now outside of its weekly expected move. NVIDIA showing you that 5-minute wants to curl over right as we get to that daily expected move there. So pay attention to that. AMD getting up towards that daily expected move. We got a little bit of room left for AMD, I believe, 172.50, but that's just barely above us. So Meta, this one too, is kind of screaming at you. I have a 5-minute divergence. I have a 30-minute divergence across the top. Double top could be happening right in this area. So pay attention to any kind of drop that happens very, very soon. And Meta's outside of its daily expected move as well. So the likelihood that Meta actually ends its price down in this area is 68%. You have a higher percentage chance of this happening. So that's something to pay attention to. Microsoft, this one here, it's touching its daily expected move right now. So it is a good time, especially on Fridays when we get to see these daily expected moves. It's like if you had calls on Microsoft, this is as high as the option market has priced in. So good chance to actually take profit here. Google, this one as well. We showed you the structure up here. This was a great trade. Comes off pretty dramatically here. Now you're seeing this come up. Will that 5-minute cross over? Well, is there anything to add up to with Google? Well, 155 is what I wanted to pay attention to. Where did that resistance come in? 155. Bruce. No. Okay. Why are you barking? No barking. Anyway, so Google, look at that. It wants to... Stop. Hey. Hey, come here. Come here. Yeah, okay, or roll over. Bruce, I will put you in your room. Bruce. Bruce is saying, putts now. Bruce is getting a little excited. So Google, again, hitting that daily expected move. So taking profit here, not the worst idea. Netflix giving you little 5-minute divergences as well. Coming up, testing this level up here, possibly double topping. SMCI, we can pay attention to this. This thing's starting to roll over again. right? Roll over again. I would pay attention to this actually breaking. That would be a huge sign we're going to see lower price action, right? The 2 hour very negative at this point, not setting up divergence. The only thing you got going for you is a little trend line here that's holding you up at this point. I think 903 is a good level where we could see this hold up, right? We've gapped above that level a couple times to go higher. We break through, it's very dramatic. So, and then we gap above it again. So I just think this level would be good, but we could see that head lower because we're in some kind of consolidation here. So if you break to the upside here, we can see that positivity come in all throughout next week. If you're not able to and turn this 2 hour positive, then this is going to continue. It's going to continue, and you just want to look for any time this 30 minutes going to roll over into negative territory. Yeah, he's just... Sometimes, you know, dogs, they just hear a little thing and they have to bark about it. So for the SPY, just remember, this can roll over. This can be ripped away very, very quickly. This is kind of a good pattern here. It's a good buying pattern here, good channel. But once that channel breaks, we want to see, are we flagging or are we heading much lower? So I would really pay attention going forward. How do I calculate it? You can literally look it up, Roland. But you're calculating using the implied volatility, the closing price, implied volatility, closing price, and I'm blanking. Let me go look at my Excel spread. Yeah, and I show you a way to get these implied volatilities and get these ranges for every stock that you're watching. You can get one for any stock. I would say use them with popular, like more not really parabolic stocks and things like that. Even using it with NVIDIA is a little bit eh. That was it. The days to expiration. So if you're making a daily one, you want to do 1 day, but you can't do that for individual stocks. So you have to use a weekly. The only day you can use it for individual stocks on the daily side is going to be on Fridays or on the closing day. But you can do monthlies. We have monthlies that are on the Patreon. So if you want monthlies for the whole month of April, that's why we think, you know, we could see a move all the way down in the SPY to 506, right? That's why we think that. The weekly, we're just stating how early on in the week we were testing those lower levels, right? We were testing that early on in the week, and look what happened from there. We see a bounce up. So it's a very, very good tool to have. And if you want to learn how to trade around them, go get the course this weekend, guys. It'll be good for you. A lot of people are benefiting from it, and I love to see that in the chat. But with that, guys, I am going to pop off just for a minute. We are selling off right now. Remember to pay attention if this wants to flag out or if it wants to actually drop. And yes, it is a pitbull. Bruce is a pitbull. We've said Bruce's birthday was on. He's an April Fool's baby. So, but Bruce has to go in his room for a little bit because he barked when he's not supposed to. This we denied rumors of the Model 2 25K not canceled. Now, I just wanted to say, pay attention to what's happening here. We could see this ripped away. A lot of stuff hitting that daily expected move to the upside. So just be careful. Volatility can increase from here. This is just the first step. We got to see if we're going to do that thing that we haven't done since 2023. Get a confirming second bar below the 20-day moving average. As we are above the 5, right? We're above the 5. We're above the weekly. We're above the 20 at this point. So we haven't lost that just yet. All of these can now be support. So pay attention to that throughout your day. Really just look if the 5-minute beats down something like this, look for that to maybe curl up by end of day. That could be an ABC move up, but really starting to look like we want to head lower. Even the 15-minute getting up towards the center line. If you look at a 15-minute compared to a 5, you'd say, hey, if this crosses over, it's probably going to test this low. But we'd have to see a dramatic move. So if it flags in any way, you're probably not convinced that that's going to go lower. Wanted to know how to pay for your course. Does it allow you to pay for it with... Ooh, that's true. I'm pretty sure it's the link down in the description. I'm pretty sure people all around the world have been taking it. So Rebecca, how about this? Just make sure to send me a message on Patreon or send me an email, and then we can see about getting you that course if you have problems. But just give it a go. It's down in there, and I'm gonna go hang with the girls and go get ready for this event and maybe do some trading this afternoon as well. But we'll talk again tomorrow. Make sure to tune into tomorrow's video. And then on Sunday, we'll get you those new ranges. So we're adding Microsoft and Google. Good time to join the Patreon. Good time to take the course, as we might be heading into a bear market in April. Let's be trading like water for the rest of the day. I wish you guys all luck in the world with your trades throughout the day. Don't think anything different. I always hope you guys are doing good out there. And I hope you have a great, great Friday and a great weekend. I'll see you on YouTube tomorrow. Peace.